making sure that I'm continuously putting, like, trying to make clips and putting the highlights on the clips channel, uploading all the shorts to the main channel, uploading all the stories to the YouTube, or to Talk Stories, trying to expand like the YouTube itself by reaching out to other channels and finding other YouTube channels, right? See, I feel this one's just like the same as the other one, but better in the fact of it's explaining his inner thoughts towards it. Like, his thoughts about, like, you know, he's gonna miss the ship. In some ways, he's gonna miss it. But he wants to give it, like, a proper send-off. But, anyways, guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out. We had some fun. We fucked around. We do what we do. It's a shorter day, but that's what it is, right? So, remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! We're actually stalling until Smokey comes back, because Smokey says that he loves Solomon, and I asked him if he meant biblical Solomon, and he said yeah, and he just wants me to put the name Solomon into one of my stories. Here, okay. And then I said, I wish biblical stories weren't taken as religiously as they are, and I wish they were treated more like Greek, like romanticized in the way that like Greek and Roman mythology is. So what I'm going to do is I got mine right here, and I'm going to flip open the Old Testament to a random point, and I'm going to see if God is wrathing on people. Plague of the firstborn. Just open any point in time in the Old Testament, and you have yourself a fat-ass, fucked-up story. Answer to that, and they would probably kill the fucking AI and say, stop taking control of my character, I want to play the game. And I think that's literally exactly what God does in the Old Testament. He's like, I told you not to do that!
God slapped my ass on the way out.
The best flag, if not top 3, top 5. But I'd say definitely, like, other people could argue for those. I'd say this is the best. So far that I've seen, that's fucking insane. I'd rank Canada S if it was a weed leaf and not a maple leaf. It's a flag. Yeah, it's a flag tier list of why is Canada? I'm Canadian. I wouldn't even rank it. It's a fucking leaf on a flag. It's boring as fuck. And it's like, if you look at the impact that Asmon has, let's do a this person had 300 subscribers, and someone put one of her videos on Asmon's subreddit. She now has 122k subscribers, and this video that she released the other day got 51k views. So remember, guys, thanks for sticking around, thanks for hanging out. You know, we do what we do, but we don't do sometimes is what it is, you know? That's how we go. So, remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! Especially you, Smokey. Obi-Wan looks like a fucking sand raider in this clip. But I mean, I think that's iconic because that's kind of the idea of what he was kind of going for, right? Because he'd been living on Tatooine so long. 887, which means you can do like 2 or 3, maybe 4 things during the entirety of the stream. So yeah, let's finish the video at least before we fuck with him. Yep. True book. But hey, if you're basing it off of gods and stuff like that, why not just use the already structured 25,000 year zodiac and just replace it? Maybe double the time spans, so like, or half the time spans, you know, so have like 24 gods instead of 12, or have 6 gods instead of 12. That's how fucked religion is. They won't even follow their own fucking guidelines because of public opinion. It's like, at least be fucking principled in your stance, man. Or I guess, like, restructuring the Adventurers Guild outside and establishing that, finding a Thomas, unlocking the 100-year quest, and getting the Emerald Weapon. Yo, boys, how's it going? I guess I put this thing on. It's fucking hot in here. It's a fucking hot in here, boys. We're getting fucking fried alive. But that's okay, this is day 2 of the ASL, boys. Oh, we're bringing it back. Let's go. This was all about. I'm so excited, guys. It's gonna be a great day today. I am. Yo, GPB, what's up, brother? Welcome. I am a little bit drunk. I wasn't drunk yesterday. I didn't drink yesterday. I drank tonight, so I don't know how the fuck this is gonna go. We're gonna do what we need to fucking do. And nothing more than that. I got already fucking nothing set up. Nothing fucking done. I just got fucking home. So we're just gonna jump the fuck right into it because who the fuck cares? Let's go! Jesus. I haven't even toked yet. What is this? Ugh. I walked home too fast. It was fucking way too cold out there. I forgot to bring a jacket. Cold and windy and stormy. Thank God it wasn't raining, though. What the fuck is gravity? I'm guessing it's some sort of Korean thing. What happened to Hot 6, guys? It used to be all about Hot 6.
Hello and welcome to Group
Hot
B
6.
of the round of 24
ASL
Season
fighting!
20, done in partnership with Google Play and Gravity. Yesterday's opening matches played testament to the players' devotion to their craft, as more competitors are waiting to light the night on fire yet again. Let's meet the
Today
and
is
one
gonna be
Protos ahead of
interesting.
Group B. Welcome. Hi.
These are like
Let's
the
first
weak.
turn to
This is
Group
like the
B's team
weakest,
one player,
probably
JYJ.
the
You've put
weakest
regrets
lineup in the
of
entire
previous season
ASL, I
behind
think.
and are joining us for
We got
season 20,
Saber,
but
the
I
new
gotta say,
guy.
These qualifiers did not go as
JYJ.
smoothly either. After getting through the qualifiers, you set your string
I think this is
title
just
to
3 noobs
I
in
survived.
JYJ. I'm not
It
quite
felt
sure.
like you were trying to convey a lot through that one statement. What did you think?
Even
of
then,
the qualifiers?
JYJ is like
The
a
trouble
halfers. You know,
did
sometimes he
start
makes it into
in
the ASL,
qualifiers. It
sometimes
was
he
quite
doesn't.
a lot.
90% of the time, he gets kicked out of the round of
The qualifiers
24.
were a handful, you say. I also saw that you were looking to readjust your biological clock. It seems to me you're putting a lot of effort into staying in good condition. How satisfied are you with your form? Coming down to the studio, I think this is the most I've ever slept ahead of an offline game. So, would you say you're in top shape today? I feel good, but I guess we'll have to see how my skills hold up. We'll keep a close eye on that then. Up next we have TY, who is returning to the ASL as a player once again after 3 seasons.
Yeah, he
He's
hasn't
had
been
some
in here for a
ups and
while.
downs after season 17, but has managed to qualify once more. Are you feeling any different coming down to the studio than you did 3 seasons ago? In past seasons, I would commentate the games, and this time actually getting to play.
I didn't
Well,
actually
do feel
realize
nervous,
TY was even
but
in
my
it.
skills
And I watched the qualifier games. I don't know. I don't remember seeing because there. It wasn't all of the qualifier games, right? It was just like
TY thinks he can throw some
I think
punches
8 of
today.
them?
Not sure if you recall, but
8
your
sets?
first opponent last time was also JYJ.
But there
I'm
are like
sure you've
50
had
sets.
quite a lot to make
There's
sure
like
that this
150,
time the
200
result
people in
is
the entire
different.
qualifier.
Your recent
And only 24.
online
Well, technically only 20 get
reason enough
in
to feel
because
confident.
4 of them are seeded from the previous
Should we
season.
expect? When I played JYJ back then, it was when I still played SC2 professionally. I was lacking in many
Yeah, TY
regards.
is actually
Now,
like an
I'm
SC2
practicing a lot.
player.
I put
He
effort
used to be
into
the
improving.
youngest player in
I have a feeling I will
all
be a
of
much more threatening
StarCraft,
opponent,
and actually probably
now
all of
than I was then.
esports. He was
Looks like we're
14
in for
when
an
he
interesting match between the two.
did his
The next
first
player we'll
championship
meet is
run
Group B's
in
tier
StarCraft
The
2.
sole Protoss in this group, it's Bisu, who suffered an unexpected blow in the first round of the qualifiers.
Yeah,
Still
Bisu
qualified by
almost
the
didn't
skin
make
of
it
his
into the
teeth. How
ASL.
did you feel during the qualifiers? I switched to new equipment from the peripherals I had used for 10 years. I guess I was nervous, given it was my first time with a new gear. But now
So you got like a new mouse and a new keyboard?
Forward to my games. Bisu
New
says
headphones?
he is fully adjusted. He hopes you look forward to his games. He did have a tough time in the qualifiers, nonetheless. Expectations are high for Bisu.
I just
perhaps
wanna
make
see
it out of
Soma
this group in
play.
first place. What do you think about that? If it was back in the day, then yeah, I would say I'm confident. Nowadays, the competition is very close. I can't be fully certain. Everything depends on my form, and just like JYJ has just mentioned, I too slept well ahead of today. Things should go well. A match many fans would certainly like to see. And up next, Tier 3 player who doesn't feel like a Tier 3 player. It's Speed, for whom it was smooth sailing through day one.
Speed's been up and coming for so
long. Season in a
long.
row qualifying through the first round. It seems you have sort of hit your stride. I have improved.
A lot of games of Speed
but
on
I still
Artosis
feel
cast.
There's things lacking. I will need to have luck on
No,
my
no,
side
I
today.
show Speed, but he is good as
Speed
Speed.
hopes fortune
Not the
smiles on
Speed
him
that
today.
Flash shows, though.
He is at the point where qualifying is a given, and many fans expect round of 16 appearances from Speed as well. Seeing how he made it out of the round of 24 in first place for 2 seasons in a row, I would expect you to feel confident, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Nah, I'm confident in best of 1, and if I have...
Yeah,
luck,
best of 1 is a little
today,
bit different than a
I
best of
might
3 or a
advance
best
in
of
first.
5 or even a best of 7, right?
Speed is confident
You
that
can
if
pull that
Flash is on
one
his side
trick,
today, then
rip
he
the
should
rug
advance
out
in
from
first
underneath
place.
them, and just
Let's dive a
fucking
little
skyrocket.
deeper. Now, in Group B, we have 3 Terrans, each bringing a different flavor. So much
So I'm wondering how
hard to
Bisu's
guess
gonna do
what
against
might
this. We're
happen.
probably only gonna wind up with
If
2
you could
TVTs
steal
today.
one skill,
We
one
might even
ability
have one
from your
TVT. Is that
opponents
even
and use it
possible?
for your own TVT, what would it be?
One TVT,
I would
one
like to hear from
TVP.
JYJ first. What
No,
would
we
you
have
like
to have at
take
least
from
2
Speed?
TVTs.
Sorry, what?
Yeah,
Take a
because no matter
TVT
what,
skill from your
whether
opponent.
the second T wins or not,
Nothing?
there would still be either
I
a
mean,
TVT in the
all three
losers
of us
match or a
play
TVT
kind
in the
of
winners
similar.
match.
There's not really a page I would like to take out of their books. Oh, JYJ says there's nothing he'd like to learn from his opponents. What about Speed?
But most
Speed,
likely
is
it'll be
there
3
something you'd like to take away
TVTs,
from
which is
TY
kind of
and use
weird for
yourself?
the amount of time that this.
All 3 of us
This is only 2.5
really have
hours,
similar
which
play
means
styles.
someone might
His
just get
hands are the best.
decimated.
I want to have his hands.
So I'm guessing Speed might just get
wishes he had TY's
Speed and
hands.
JYJ
What about
maybe.
TY then?
TY and
would you
Bisu
like
are
to
most likely
steal
to make
from
it out.
JYJ?
Bisu, it's hard to say because it's
We're all
Terran,
aggressive
but
players.
Bisu should be able to make it out
JYJ
first.
uniquely has great early game control with just a few units. That's something I'm particularly envious of. And the Protoss, who is about to meet these 3 flavors of Terran,
Ooh,
has the
so
second
scary.
highest win rate against Terran in all of ASL.
Yup.
That notwithstanding, would you
And
say
he's
there's
still
one
better
opponent you
versus
find
Zerg. That's the
demanding here?
scariest part.
I've played a bunch against JYJ and TY, but it's my first time going up against Speed, both in tournaments, and we haven't practiced against each other. I'm not sure what his style is. I'm a little scared. Scared, you say? With a best of 1 variable at play, things are difficult to predict indeed. Who do we think will be the dark horse to shift the balance of the group? Let's hear from all the players one by one. A dark horse. It all depends on whether Speed can take down Bisu or not.
Yup.
And TY? Bisu used to be one of the best. I consider Speed to be the best out of the tier 3 players. He might prove to be the biggest threat here.
Wow,
And,
coming from
Bisu
TY. Bisu's like, I've fallen off?
TY has been on a roll recently. I'm curious to see what he brings to the table today. I too have got my eye on TY. I have a feeling he will do well today. The guys are going tit for tat as expectations seem to be falling on TY here. Let's close things out with our players' final words of resolution, starting with JYJ, please. It feels like it's been a while. I'll do my best to advance and talk to you in the winner's interview. Seeing how I'm a tier 4 player, I am the underdog here. Nonetheless, I worked hard and I'm in good shape. I'll put up a good fight today. I just changed my gaming gear and it made me feel like a rookie. I'm nervous, but I'll do well in advance.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm still gonna
I
win.
will
Fuck these
enjoy my time
bitches.
today. We've just heard from our 4 players who will be competing today. Thanks for the interview. You're watching ASL Season 20, brought to you by Google Play and Gravity, who will end up succeeding and advance to the round of 16 today. Let's start the matches and find out.
Bisu! Bisu! Man, was this 2 days in a row without a fucking Zerg? And we're gonna have 2 days as a break, and then we're gonna have another 2 days, and we're gonna have a full group of Zergs.
Group B
Fucking hell, this is gonna be scary.
ASL Season 20. We had a hell of a day of games yesterday.
Yup.
Today should be a special one. 1 Protoss and 3 Terrans.
Yeah, that's kind of a wild group, and while I think that, you know, Bisu is probably overall the strongest, I think he's even actually a stronger player than JYJ, it's a tough one. Like, you know, sometimes we see a player prepare for a group like this and do an absolutely fantastic job, but when they have very different styles, I feel like it can be quite the task.
Yeah, the 3 Terran players we have, all very unique. Some of the strongest Terrans in the world, but not exactly the default ones you'd go to if you're thinking of Terran and ASL.
Light.
Not your Rush, not your Light,
Yep.
not your Flash from the past.
No,
but
not your
all
Sharps.
3 of these guys have been very interesting additions. JYJ has played extremely well, showing
He's been coming
incredible
up so good.
fundamentals and really kind of powering through to the front line of modern
Round of
Terrans
8.
here. He was somebody that was always a little bit in the background. TY, famously from StarCraft 2, one of the greatest Terrans to ever touch the game. And in the few ASLs he's played in, he's been phenomenal. Really coming in with completely novel takes, taking a lot of StarCraft 2 ideas and applying them here in StarCraft 1. And then, of course, Speed, the ladder monster. I feel like he's the everyman.
Oh, maybe
for
it
the
is
ASL.
tomorrow. I don't know.
It's
Wait.
hard to not root for this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's had some incredible games.
Yeah, one thing to note about Speed is he
Wednesday,
did
Wednesday,
have
Thursday. No, that's
a little bit
today.
of wrist issues lately.
So it's
he hasn't
usually
played as much
48
as he did
hours
before the last season.
after
Before the last
the
season,
video is
literally in the
recorded,
top
it's
10, he had like
released.
4 or 6
So yeah, it'll be
ladder
another
rounds.
2
It was
days. It'll be
something
like
insane.
Saturday. by
But
the time
he hasn't been laddering
it
quite
comes
as
out.
much. I actually don't think
it's
that's gonna
Thursday
affect
now,
him
it'll be Saturday in
negatively,
2
though.
days
Sometimes
when we
people
watch it.
actually play a little bit too much. But it seems like he's feeling good. He went right through those qualifiers, no problem. So, yeah, I look at this
crazy to see
lineup, and
Speed
I
in
actually think
this.
that Speed has a very good chance of getting out here. I have a lot of confidence in the way that he plays Terran versus Terran, and I think his Terran versus Protoss is a good match against Bisu as well. Not like a guaranteed win, but I'm like, yeah, I give him close to 50%.
JYJ is really strong. I don't know if this is the right group for him to advance. If he does make it out, good on him, but I do feel like the makeup of these players is going to be tricky. TY as well has shown a lot of these very strategic openings, tactical plays that doesn't feel like a lot of players can prep for it as easily. So him coming in here now, I think he's a bit of the wild card in the group.
Yeah.
I mean, he might get knocked out or he could get out first. It could really go any way with this guy.
I definitely agree with that. Like, TY has
Ooh,
brought over
man.
that same style that he's had for a long
gotta
time.
stop
He's
drinking.
very kind of StarCraft 2.
I gotta stop drinking.
You know,
I
StarCraft
should
2 is
just-
a game that
I gotta
has
stop
more
toking after I
multitasking
drink. Like,
overall.
holy
you're-
fuck,
like,
man.
With Terran,
I was
you're
like, alright, I'm coming
expected
down,
to
and it's
be
like,
talking
way
and
the
he
fuck
does
up
that
there.
in StarCraft 1,
Now I'm like,
which is actually not even considered
in that
good,
numb
is
stage
the
where I'm
kind
just
of
like,
funny thing. Like, it looks good until suddenly it's like, well, what you should have done is reinforce this position with missile turrets so that when Protoss attacks you, you don't die, right? So I find it really interesting to watch him develop in StarCraft 1, and I feel like he has more potential to change how Terran is played than anyone else because of his completely different view.
JYJ, this guy is, I think, most famous for his TVZ, although we're looking at his win rate here, and in fact, he is the best at TVT, at least as far as results go. But
Yeah.
Like
TVZ is where I always
0.1%.
think of him,
Yeah,
just
me
kind
too.
of a solid pusher, a guy that's, kind of just stronger, manhandles the Zergs pretty easily. TVT, there are some of those elements. Terran versus Terran is very much a matchup of endurance and patience and knowing when to take a calculated risk.
positioning.
He's going to be going up against TY. TY was one of the greatest TVT players in StarCraft 2 of all time.
Yes.
TVT in StarCraft 2 operates under a very different set of fundamentals compared to StarCraft 1 TVT.
But yeah, a lot of the fundamentals are similar, at least. It's definitely, it's like more, I mean, mech does get played some, but even that is very different from StarCraft 1 mech. But let's not forget, right? Like, TY was a strong pro gamer before StarCraft 2 as well. He definitely deserves to be here, and again, I'm just excited to see the way in which he wants to play. Like, does he go more towards the way that most people think StarCraft 1 Terran should play, or does he keep his StarCraft too infused style for StarCraft 1. That's what I'm hoping for.
I like that.
Something a little bit
Infused
different.
style.
Thinking outside of
We're
the
gonna
box,
go into Dominator here
stylistically.
for map 1. This is a best of 1. All games will be best of 1 here in Group B.
Like, it
TY
makes it
versus
hard for other
JYJ.
players to predict what you're going to
Battle
do.
the Alphabet Soup IDs starting now.
The cheers are the best part about it.
Alphabet soup
Okay.
IDs. I like it.
Yeah.
Alphabet soup.
Well, he's a-
KJYJ
Someone here says, say,
C9TYTY.
TBT, JYJ versus TY. It's
Yeah.
like, well, these guys just sound insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, letter IDs are cool, but when you get 2 players together that have them, it starts to sound pretty funny. We've got JYJ here in the bottom left. We've got TY here in the center right. We hope you guys have been enjoying the ASL. It's always so exciting to come back. You know, I always feel great when a tournament's done. I feel like I've got a full belly, you know, like my soul feels good.
Yeah.
And then we got time up, but I'm always excited to come back here. I'm going to put a little PSA out there because we get asked this all the time. If you guys want to avoid the spoilers is in the length of the VOD on YouTube, there are plugins to download for that. A lot of people ask us to fill in the VOD with
Yeah,
like
so we
extra
don't know
time
how
at the end.
long the
That
video
will
is, because when you see how
absolutely
long the
kill us
video
in
is, you
YouTube
know
algorithm.
exactly what happened.
Like we will just get, because the algorithm will assume that people don't finish the video, so it's not worth sharing.
Exactly.
So those
but
plugins are out there.
Tasteless, some people do that and get good views, Tasteless.
And the answer is no, they don't. But Team Liquid used to do this a long time ago. Back when I would watch VODs, you would download the VOD from some, I can't remember.
And it'd be like 10 hours long no matter what,
Like
so you
dummy
never
files
know
of,
how
like,
long the actual match was.
3 and 5, or 4 and 5, excuse me, if like the best of 5 didn't finish. But we don't have those capabilities here. I wish there was a way YouTube would give us a little button where we could turn off the length of the VOD.
Yeah.
But
be
we
nice.
don't have that. But those tools are out there. I'm just saying this. If you've heard it before and you're wondering why do they bring this up, we get asked this all the time.
Yeah.
So I just think every once in a while.
Because someone who's regular like me instantly knows. I know these CVTs are going to go by super fast, which means
Also,
most
I wanna
likely
mention
there's
something
not going to
funny
be an
before we start
upset.
talking about the nuances of TVT, which I just love to discuss with you. The audience, like as we were doing that shot, I don't know if a lot of people were in the bathroom or what, but the seats were not full, which is not super normal. And then I thought to myself, if Bisu wins this group, there's going to be one skinny nerd with glasses on that doesn't look happy that's in the audience, and that's it. He's staying for the TVTs. It's like completely Bisu fans out there, I bet you. But anyways,
100%.
yeah. Right now it's looking like it'll just be factory expand versus factory expand. Not a big surprise. It's a best of 1. Do you want to take like a risk where your opponent might just catch you for being greedy or being aggressive?
Double command center off the bat. Fuck it. Why not?
The one thing I do want to note, and I mentioned this yesterday as well because we had a Terran versus Terran on this map. If you are behind your opponent, you have a slight advantage on... Oh, it's a 2-factor from TY. Never mind. You do have a slight advantage going into the mid and late game because you can push up and push into their main quickly with the dropship. But right now, it looks like TY wants to bring this game to a head very quickly with the double factory play.
He's just going to pump vultures and try to rush.
Yeah. 2 factory and TVT. I guess if anybody was going to do this, it would have been TY, but even I thought TY probably wouldn't play like this. But TY lately in ASLs especially, he seems to come up with builds that are very specific that kind of give him either a win right away or an overwhelming advantage where it's just very, very tough to combat.
This is a pretty good idea. Now, part of why he probably did this is because of the amount of damage he put on the SCV. If you put a good amount of damage on the SCV, basically you have to get it low enough that it can't get past your 2 Marines in the front. Because if you scout that this is happening, you crush it. It's not even close. But if you don't scout, and it comes down to add-on timing. Like if he makes an add-on, like if he goes non-stop Vulture, let's say that JYJ goes non-stop Vulture here, adds a second factory, he will most likely hold it and crush this game. Whereas if he goes add-on and TY hits with like 2 extra Vultures, he will crush the game. So like this is, I mean, this goes one way or the other very quickly.
Okay, he's going to move in. The Marines are on the high ground. It looks like this one Vulture on the side is going to get targeted. A second Vulture comes through. Remember, there's a chance to miss your shot from high ground to low ground. So as they move through these rolling hills, it's very important you try to get your shots off on the high ground. He takes that vulture out. He is not moving shotting with one of those, so at least one vulture is going to get back. Never mind, it is going to be picked off here.
Yeah,
Bit of a trade here overall.
Oh, he's surrounded!
Such a good catch right there. So incredibly important. He's got to go down the ramp. Now, I wonder if an armory is being made at home for TY. Because right now you just have to, as JYJ, make non-stop vultures. Notice how he adds a third factory. He knows this is going to be tough. A command center coming up for TY. So he thinks the game might go a little bit longer. And the amount of damage he's getting is pretty insane. Perfect micro from him so far. Seriously.
If that SCV drill, got in there, that would have been, maybe the end of the rush. If SCVs can get stacked on top of vultures, and then
that's why he doesn't want to go down the ramp. The second he goes down the ramp, he's just going to pull the SCVs and fucking...
Remember, like we said earlier, shots from low ground to high ground, chance to miss. And so right now, it's a vulture contain. He's going to try to send the SCVs. This does come with a little bit of risk here. I mean, with this many vultures, you can easily one-shot SCVs. The vultures are going to try to come up here and
pull back.
The micro has been superb here from TY. In fact, he's just
late. I sat all lonely-hearted, tried to shit, but only farted. Then one night I took a chance, tried to fart and shit my pants.
Vultures. And it looks like it's going to be at least 3 here on the top. Whenever you have 3 on the top, the SCV
oh, it's beautiful, Sean. Absolutely beautiful.
3-shot SCVs.
I think TY pretty much won the game with this.
Flatten the economy.
Like this is he's so fucked.
Or does he try to just kamikaze on top of the SCVs? It looks like he's going to go for the SCVs instead. Can't see.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, GG.
Super short game there.
Greeting with a joke. I mean, it's a great way to go, Sean. Absolutely love it.
In ASL.
Yeah.
Remember what he did versus Jadong?
Well, I'm a little drunk today, though.
I was just thinking about that. This guy really knows how to prep.
Yeah, that was very well done. Because
I can't help it. When I get offered a beer, I just have to say yes.
To do that, like this might have been.
Well, you want another beer? I'm like, yes.
Put enough damage on the SCV. JYJ made the mistake of coming out because the Marines.
It's the reason why I couldn't win Catan, guys.
But
never won a game of Catan in my fucking life. Well, I can't take full credit. I heard that poem from a roommate years back.
Because otherwise you lose
I
to
see,
that.
Sean.
If you play a lot of the ladder, you already know that. If you didn't see the command center, sit your vultures at home, sending them out could result in a loss that looks exactly like that. And that's what we're going to show here. Watch this. So it's a great move from TY. Like, he baited JYJ to come out and do this. Like, see how JYJ is kind of forward? He hasn't seen a command center. He was zoned out of scouting. So, yeah, you see here TY comes up. Well, actually, sorry, he sent his Marines out. I had it backwards the way I was saying it. But, like, these are moves that you should not do unless you've seen the command center. Like, if you sit back with all these units in your natural or on top of your ramp here, then it's so hard for TY to kill you. And he just, like, this is something Light has talked about a lot with Terran versus Terran. And, like, JYJ just did not do it.
I mean, the SCV surround here was beautiful, by the way. Even though JYJ didn't win, I thought maybe he would be able to pull there with that. But, TY with a perfect engage, set up nicely. Sometimes you get players, they're so good, they go, of course he's going to expand. I got to get that edge in. I got to get that pressure on. And that's what backfired. And now TY is in the winner's match. And I think our shortest ASL game of the season. Coming up next, guys, Bisu versus Speed. We will be right back.
Bisu versus Speed. Let's go. Let's go, Bisu versus Speed. We'll have TY most likely versus Bisu, and then Bisu will win, and TY will probably lose to JYJ. And
hey, thanks for waiting.
Yeah,
that was short.
It's gonna be Bisu and JYJ who come out. Bisu first, JYJ second.
This next one.
But Speed is the like what should we call it?
It can be the shortest game.
He's the odd one out, right? He's never been in an ASL before. I don't know how good he is. He's been doing really good. Yo, it's my birthday! W! Smokey, it's your fucking birthday! Happy fucking birthday, Smokey! Here's a birthday present for you, Smokey. Go fuck yourself.
There was legitimately.
I don't believe
like,
you.
20 openers.
I had a weird dream. First had my
Something like
sex
that
suit.
You could do. Open with just about anything.
Cheat
And
ability.
it feels like that's the case.
That's
in
cool,
Terraverse
but the
Pro.
main
There's just-
part of that
there's a
is that
huge
by
amount of different
seeding a
openers on
woman,
both
I can
sides.
cure
Like,
literally
I
every
have,
ailment, physical
in
or
my
mental,
head,
that she has.
probably
So I'm on a
7 or 8
train, and there's
regular
2
build orders
zombie
that I use against
guys
Protoss to open the game
who
with,
are
and Protoss
actively
has even more
turning
than that.
anyone and everyone, then killing killing the
funny,
males.
like, this, for me, honestly, is my favorite matchup.
Naturally, I went against them. Only all the women
I love the
zombies
way it
are
looks
still
for both
there, and
sides.
only
There's
turning
nothing
others will
quite
keep
like
their
it.
mentally
You know, it's where mech kind of came from in a lot of
strong.
ways.
Guess how I cure them all. You have to fuck them.
You know, in like
You gotta fuck
prehistoric
them.
periods of StarCraft, like pre-Brood War.
Hi,
like, well,
coming from
how do you
BLC Hope all's well. Hey,
Protoss,
girls, how's it
right? I
going?
mean, it seems
Yes,
like all
we
they're
are a
doing
little
is
bit
destroy
drunk,
infantry,
but that's
and then
okay.
that came to be,
We're hanging
and
out with the
all
out-of-town
different
friend
styles
today
of
at my
mech, and people
sister's.
learning how to turtle,
My
and,
sister and my
the
brother-in-law.
crazy endgame tech from Protoss. Is it
Having a
carriers?
good
Is it
time,
arbiters? Is it,
having some drinks,
Usos
playing
and
some
Templars?
Catan, and now we're
I
watching
don't
some
know. I just love the matchup.
StarCraft World
And I'm
Championships
interested to see how it's gonna
ASL
look with these two.
Day 2.
Bisu, I think, is stronger, but Speed could certainly win here. You know, Bisu, we've been sort of sitting around waiting for him to bubble up to the very top, like we had seen Flash do.
Look at those
Yeah.
wins.
And he's been at times top 8.
19
I
games.
think he's gotten top 4 a couple times, right?
Did
But
he? I
maybe
can't
once?
recall.
No, it doesn't
Maybe
say he's a
once.
champion,
Maybe
runner-up, or
one
a round
time,
of
yeah.
4.
And, well, the Vance Star League he was in the finals. That was the precursor to the first.
Yeah,
ASL
that's like
season.
way back in the day,
They
like 10,
kinda
15
changed their
years ago.
branding and name and everything. So
One side effect
not
of the
everyone
cheat
counts
is that
but,
they are
like,
instantly
yeah,
and permanently
the
in
thing is,
love
he
and lust
has
with me, and any
maintained
woman I have
one of-
or
he's been one of the
obtain.
top Protoss,
It's
no
not
question.
just
I
a
think he's
one
been
and done
in every single
situation.
season that he's tried.
Damn,
out for,
Sean,
and
you're
I
gonna
think
need
that's
some
every
fat
season,
dick for
if I
that.
remember correctly, we're 20 deep, so it's hard sometimes to remember, but like.
And what if the psychological
good shape.
trauma
He's a
in this
really
story,
strong player.
Sean, is that after all is said and
yeah,
done,
he's
everyone
not
finds
like-
out that you're actually gay,
He's not this unbeatable thing like Flash.
and you're just doing the world a service.
right, right. Or he hasn't been like, you know, like the other modern players like Rush or Soul.
And you're popping Viagra behind their back.
But he's always looked good. I mean, he's definitely, for, you know, how long ago he was the best in the world, he's still extremely strong. So this should be a fun one. Bisu versus Speed, Game 2 here in Group B, starting now.
That's okay, Smokey. I mean, you haven't said it's your birthday before, so, you know, I believe you this time, but if you say it's your birthday again, and I can tell
Okay,
because,
Speed here in the
like,
top left,
I
Bisu in the
know,
bottom left.
Smokey.
The map is going
I
to
know.
Dominator. We're going to do one of our 2 plugs of the day here, guys.
Unless, of course,
Call
you've
to
said
action.
it's your
Please
birthday
consider signing up for the
before,
Patreon.
but I don't remember you ever saying
patreon.com/ASL English. We
So
need your
everyone say
support.
happy birthday to Smokey,
the
and if
way
it's
we are
not his
doing this
birthday,
now
we're all gonna
is not
bully
by
him
being
and never
led by
say
Stu,
happy birthday to him ever again.
but instead
So
by
he
being
better make
supported
sure
by
that
you
it
guys.
is
Consider
actually
signing
his
up for the
birthday today.
Patreon. We do a little mini podcast where we have a little chat about our day, what's going on with our lives. We talked a little bit about our build orders we're running. But yeah, sign up. It would mean the world to us. Patreon.com/ASL English.
Yeah, thank you very much to everyone who has been supporting over the years. StarCraft 1 continues to be strong, and I mean, it is the best game. It's the best game. A lot of people ask me, Tasteless, like, what do you think about the future of RTS? Because there's been, you know, a lot of new games that have been trying to come out. They haven't been that successful. StarCraft 2 is
Because in an hour and a half from now, Smokey, you can say, "Hi, it wasn't my birthday. You're retarded." Why the fuck would you think it was my birthday? It was my birthday 3 months ago. Fucking idiot.
Growing right now. It's doing so well.
I know
So
you
many
so
people
well,
watching,
Smokey.
So many people
That's
enjoying it.
exactly what you
And
would
a lot
do.
of that is because of you guys, so thank you.
Well, it's interesting when you don't have to rely on the publisher at all anymore, like they've kind of left the picture. It really does open it up to the community to decide the size and
Well, I told you a couple days ago it was
what
going to
the
be my
scene's gonna
birthday.
look like.
Shows you don't listen
You
to
know,
me.
is it going to be just online cups? Is it going to be, you know, stuff like
No,
ASL?
Smokey, it
Is
shows
gonna
I don't
be
listen
trying
to
do an
anyone.
RSL, which we made a Patreon for
I don't
as well
listen
for
to
StarCraft 2.
anyone. Don't make
But what's
yourself
nice is
don't make
even though we
yourself
talk
the
about these
victim
games
by
like they're
saying
old,
you're
or,
the
oh,
only
StarCraft's not as
one.
big as, you know, Counter-Strike or something. The reality is
Sure.
the scenes are actually still very
Okay.
big, even if it's not the biggest in the world.
Okay.
It is massive.
Then,
Indeed.
Smokey,
Viewership for this tournament
if
of the
that's
StarCraft
true, then
tournament is
explain
good.
why I
Viewership
know
was
exactly when
fantastic,
Muffin's
actually.
birthday
We
is.
just came back from Riyadh for the StarCraft 2 Esports World Cup.
Because it was his birthday
Indeed.
in April.
One thing I want to mention about this game, they showed a stat while we were talking there. I wasn't aware of this. Bisu has the second highest win rate in ASL for Protoss vs. Terran, and he's barely below
You're
Snow.
a what?
He's like 1% win rate below Snow in this matchup.
Are on
I
what?
had no idea about
That's
that.
so crazy.
I know his PVT is strong.
See, he just failed to
but
hear
that's
me when I
crazy.
said
Like, that
he's
is
awesome,
like,
so
he's got
it's
a better
true.
win
He
rate
hears
than Best
nobody.
in this matchup.
Yeah, that's wild. I guess when I
You
when I hear
never
say
said that,
I go,
Sean.
it
That's a
kinda makes sense.
lie.
Well, he is
Like, I'm not
Bisu.
too shocked when I think
You
back
never
to
said
all
I
the
was
games. I'm like, yeah, he did
awesome.
murder a lot of Terrans.
Yeah.
By the way,
'Cause
the
it's
build
not
that he's
true.
gone for here, Bisu still does this build more than anybody
Are
else.
you on
One of the
about?
oldest builds, the gateway on the
You're
high ground.
on about.
Or,
All
sorry,
on about
gateway outside the
you,
main is the correct way
Smokey.
to say this.
Totally did
pylon
say
core
it. You
inside the
just
main.
didn't
Does get the
hear
zealot
me.
there, a second or two faster. It's a
Oh,
decent pressure
I
build.
get
Is he
you,
gonna try to do the
Sean.
body block, which is
Yeah,
so hard to
you
do,
know.
by the way,
Yeah.
with a probe versus a marine. The marine actually
Bye.
gets around the probe pretty easily. Doesn't manage to kill that
Bitch.
marine. This is probably being used on this map because you do start out on low ground as Terran. And so just having that pressure on there.
Who's doing what,
and
where,
Bisu
what,
not too
how?
committed to this. He's just going to make a Nexus. So this isn't like a full-on rush, but he's at least forcing some more Marines. He might end up forcing like a bunker up here.
It looks like Speed is trying to not make
Oh,
a bunker, but I think
he's
that
gonna
might
get the
be a little bit of a
Marine.
mistake. We'll see. The Vulture comes out. So he should like just barely hold this, but there's another Dragoon on the way, which is going to make this even harder. Like, I really would have preferred for him to insta-throw down a bunker when he had 4 Marines. Because
How many SCVs do you need to repair a Vulture versus a Dragoon? Is it 2?
I think it's 3 for 1 Dragoon, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, even as a Terran and a Protoss player cast it, this is not like a number you would know necessarily, right? He's going to go in here for the dive on that Vulture. And, I mean, one thing about Bisu is he's very comfortable with his Dragoon control. And so he can basically just keep these alive for an insanely long period of time. What I love about Bisu, by the way, is he knows
Hello,
when to
just
back
doing a
up
bit of
and
hunting
to lean
off
in.
stream. Hey, Muffin, how's it
Like,
going,
these are
brother?
2
Welcome,
damaged
welcome.
Dragoons,
We're watching
which,
the
by
day
way, they're
2
still
of
gonna do
ASL.
full
I'm
damage
like,
no matter how much HP they have.
I'm
so
fucking
keeps
drunk.
them alive. He can generate a threat later. If you can do that much damage and basically only have traded out a probe and a zealot, you're in such good shape. And so he decides to abandon any more pressure. I love it. He's very forced.
Fuck.
More Marines to be made. There's 2 more SCVs at the entrance. This really could not have gone better for Bisu. Honestly, I didn't think this was going to do anywhere near as much damage just because...
yeah, you can call me
Bisu's
if
so
you
known
want,
for this. I
Muffin.
thought Speed would have, defended a little bit better, but Bisu gets in there, gets out.
Well, Speed was playing a little bit greedy there. At the end of the day, I guess he has defended, and he did get to skip his bunker. But this is one of those silly pro gamer moves where, like, pro gamers do not want to make anything they don't have to make. And you can see there where it's like, okay, who was that better for? Well, that was better for Bisu. Yeah, you didn't have to make a bunker, but still, that's like, maybe it'll end up paying off. Maybe all the damage on those Dragoons, like he's going to factory, which makes a lot of sense to me. If you have
He
two
gets like
Dragoons
2
damaged that
tank
much,
shots. He's
and
going to
you're forced
instantly
into
kill
making
2
tanks right
goons.
now
And it
instead of
depends
going
on
lines like you would
if
normally
Bisu is
in
thinking,
those
oh,
filters.
these are my
You
weak
should try to
goons,
do
so
a
I'll
counter
keep
push
them
and target
aside.
those 2 goons down quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could do that counter poke, sometimes that's...
He's like, I have 5,
a way
3,
for,
1.
Protoss to
Oh,
fall
fuck, I don't
off
have any
in
goons.
moments like that, is you come across the map, and, they are a little bit flimsy on the defense.
My
So
goon's
for now,
flimsy
Bisu's just
for
continuing
you.
to accumulate Dragoons. He got the Robo. I didn't see. Is this just observers, or is he going to go into a shuttle, maybe?
I think he's going observers, but I didn't see the actual tech building. I'd be surprised if he went. Like, it's hard to go
observers.
Reaver right then. I think you go observer into Reaver, and it's way better. But yeah,
I agree.
He's getting that count up. He's almost up at 8, which is really, really crucial. If he can stand on high ground and have 8, he
Every
should be
time
able to
you
repel
say
this
goon, I
push,
put her
and it
on the
looks
end
like
of it.
That's what he's going to have. But you can do some tricky things here as Speed. Look at how he's laying a few mines here and there. He might
It's a
get the
Dragoon!
Speed upgrade, push with the tanks and Marines, and then try to run Vultures in behind. Like, that's a very common Terran tactic in situations like this. And also, notice how he's going down the right side. He knows where the Observer will come and when the Observer will come, so he's going around because he can't go, like, straight on. If you go under the Observer attacking, he'll just move all his Dragoons into position and crush the push.
And I don't think Bisu is aware of this at all. This could completely blindside Protoss. A lot of times a Protoss can lose a game because they didn't actually keep track of the army. That happens to me even when I do have observers, but in this case when the observer doesn't see them, this could hit really hard. So he wants to basically siege up, get the mines set up here. Oh, hold on. He's moving out. Now, the high ground is going to favor the Terran quite a bit here, especially with the Marines. The number of missed Dragoon shots that can happen on the Marines is really painful. The Vultures try to run by, but Bisu was ready. He sealed up the entrance. Oh.
It was a good attempt there from Bisu, but yeah, those high ground siege tanks are absolutely crushing. Bisu did make a full wall so that he's not just going to die to a Vulture run by. That's a huge tactic from Terran, so good block of that. But I feel like he needs to save this Nexus. This is looking a little bit grim right now. If you can kill this Nexus and get out with the 4 tanks, you're like a prince.
Oh, canceled.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. He's going to leave 1 tank and try to run out with the others. And don't forget, he already laid mines, so it'll take time for Bisu to chase him, which means those 3 tanks are getting home. This is a superb position for Speed. Even though Bisu's up 20 supply, I feel like Speed's winning right now.
Can
Let's
one
go,
siege tank
Speed!
punch down a Nexus while it's making right when it starts? Do you know?
I don't think it can. I think it's just barely does not. Oh,
Oh.
wow. That popped over to the other
I
side.
love that a decent part of this cast is me being like, do you need this many of this to do this? And then you go, I don't know. And I go, yeah, I really asked the useful questions here.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't run into 1 siege tank
Make us look
attacking a
bad.
morphing Nexus that often, Tasteless. Sorry. It's just not a Terran strategy.
Let me ask Artosis another question that he doesn't know that I also don't have the answer to.
Oh, how many ghost shots to get a Dragoon to 24 health? I'm like, what? I don't know, Tasteless. I don't know the answer to that one because that never comes up in a game.
You're really putting me on the spot here, man. Like, why don't you just ask me something maybe one of us knows?
Oh, my gosh.
So this third base, it's going to have to be restarted. I mean, this really sucks for Protoss.
Yeah.
You almost never see the Protoss get their third base denied.
Very rare, nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's... oh, wow. He drops the Reaver here and actually ends up eating a shot from the tank. Yeah, you know, this is
Boom!
pretty rough right now for Bisu. I don't know that he's going to get a ton done here. It seems like everything's placed pretty perfectly. I think he can actually fire a shot through.
Maybe.
Oh!
That was actually a really good shot, too. I think that got 4 or 5 SCVs, so I wasn't sure. When you go behind middles, the chance of glitching is, like, so much higher. So much higher.
Well, there's a way to, like, guarantee it. Like, if you can put it, like, in between a certain wedge, it'll just pop through. But then every once in a while, it will just get hooked back there, and it's like the Scarab can never find its way around. It'll get right to the edge and then get pulled back towards the middle.
Yeah. It has to do with how pathing is calculated in StarCraft 1, and it can be difficult to get out from behind the patches. If the pathing, like, takes too long for the Reaver, that's when it misses. Well, that's when it does. It misses in other ways if it doesn't connect with what it was attacking. But yeah, so he does okay with that harassment. He does get his 3rd base up now. He's getting his 4th base. So I think...
Oh, nice.
That's painful. You know, I think Bisu is doing a pretty good job of recovering here. 100%, I want to see him get up to at least 8 gateways. Like, you got to be really aware that Speed could be thinking about trying to hit a timing attack here after canceling your 3rd. Oh! He just makes his 3rd on location. Okay, so this game is going to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes with early Reaver, you know, they obviously can't be making observers if they're making Reavers. So, you know, Protoss right now seems to have like 1 observer back home, actually 2, and then 2 out, you know, just checking for pushes basically. But this is going to let you just throw a command center down pretty quickly, and so he's going to do it on spot. Had the Reaver gotten over there, he could do that, but, you know, once you take that out, you just have a lot less control over the map overall. Really, Goliaths with the missile range upgrade, it shuts down Reavers so hard. It's so much more difficult to do anything with them because they'll just run out. Even if you lose a Goliath or 2, it's totally worth it to take the shuttle out, especially if something's inside of it.
100% on that one. Like, anytime you kill the shuttle, like for the first Reaver, you're like, oh wow, that's so much for you.
Because
you know, it takes a while.
now you have to remake the shuttle before you can make another Reaver, and that's just another 45 seconds delayed, where you could have 2 Reavers, and now you just have 1 Reaver and 1 shuttle again.
Turrets set up where you need them and everything as well. Taking a look,
But it looks like
here,
he's going for
it
Storm,
looks like
too.
We have like 9-ish gates right now for Bisu. Definitely, I'm sure he has Zealot legs on the way. He has the Templar Archive, so it looks like he's going to be going the heavy speed shuttle, you know, high Templars with like a ton of gateway units type of style.
Yeah, this is a very strong style. I don't feel like I see Bisu do it as much, I guess, when I think back to all of his games, but he's definitely capable. In this case, it's going to be a 3-shuttle kamikaze drop into the main, which I'm kind of surprised to see this. I don't know, was there a Reaver in one of these, or was it just Templars?
I think he has Templars. I don't think there's a Reaver.
Oh, he lost one of the shuttles.
We'll see that in a second. He drops out some high Templars. Okay.
I mean,
the storm. If he had one more storm here,
yeah,
this would be a sick drop.
That was so unfortunate.
Oh, he actually has a DT in there. That's kind of funny. I did not.
Oh, I didn't see the DT either. Oh, that's really good.
You know, I don't know that I like this. I mean, it's great to get some SCVs, but that's 3 shuttles. That's a lot of units to basically get harassing. Yeah, I mean, if he had 1 or 2 more Templars, maybe the storms would have been a little bit stronger. But
yeah, if you could have killed all those
yeah,
SCVs
I'm
instead of just like a third of them,
shuttles come in there. I feel like 2 is kind of the maximum. And maybe you would do
and look,
like
now he's just
3
going across
shuttles
the
if they were
map.
trying to just 2-base power and hit you. Like we've seen Mini do some weird stuff like that, or he'll even do something like storm drop and then have DTs kill these scanners and then use DTs to stop the push. But this is a different game now. Bisu's actually winding up for a really big attack over here at the entrance. He's got Templars here. He's storm dropping, and he's kind of using the storms to push in. He's really making that whole front line a lot squishier.
Yeah,
but
this
if there's
is
not more Zealots coming up here, this is just not going to do it.
That's a really surprising attack to me. I don't know.
Days to weeks.
What he was
L,
thinking
how's
with
it
that
going,
one.
good sir? We're watching some
A lot of
StarCraft.
times Protoss players get a good
Bisu
amount of
versus
supply, and then they're like, all right, I
Speed,
should
round
attack
of
now to try to
24.
reduce the siege tank count.
Match 2.
But like that position, he's
2.
attacking uphill into mines and turrets. And
How are you,
the way
Days
that
to
Speed
weeks?
has spread his tanks here,
Double
it's
L.
basically
I
the
like
best you can
that.
do. There isn't like a better formation that he could have made where he had some forward
You know what
ones
you're
where
talking
you think
about,
you're about
Days to
hit the
weeks.
tanks, but you
I
don't
love
have the
me
vision
some
'cause he's got
lesbians,
well-spread
especially when
turrets. So I
they're
think that
getting
was
in on
pretty
there,
wasteful from Bisu. If I'm Speed here, I'm like, oh, this game's going well. Like Speed has a lot of room here to continue to macro up, get his upgrades, get a 4th base. It's like he's not under any danger of dying anytime
I'm
soon. He's
drunk,
got a
though,
great
Days to
economy
weeks.
rolling. So, yeah, not super digging that last push.
Yeah, well, with Speed having the tanks spread in such a way where the storms can't be optimized. Like
I
what you're
have
looking
some
for is a
bears
storm,
tonight,
like 7
boys.
vultures or 4 tanks, to really try to find something where you can hit that juicy patch. Maybe he gets it here. Yeah, a storm like that is good.
Yeah.
So he's going to keep sending this stuff in here, and he does thin the tank count out now. Yeah, let's see how the rest of this game goes. I mean, the truth is he is killing some tanks, right?
Yeah.
There is no 4th base for Speed. I have seen these games where Protoss players manage to basically just keep the Terran on their back the whole game. I find it hard to do as Protoss because, 1 or 2 overextensions and you can be counter-pushed and killed. But this is kind of looking like one of those games, right? Like, Bisu's on 5 bases. He consistently has higher supply, so he hasn't traded inefficiently. He is continuing to macro up. He'll eventually get a 6th base. He's basically moving between, pushing, doing damage, clearing the map, and then I guess he's going to try to storm drop over here. Let's see how this does.
Oh, 2 Zealots.
Looks like they're
2 Templar.
Oh, are there too many used? Oh, that was a misclick.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's too bad because there
Oh,
was
that's-
actually SCVs coming in. If he had hit those, that would have been really, really good.
That sucks.
But that's a little bit of a misdrop, but that wasn't that expensive for him to try that. It's okay for those to go
It's
wrong
weird to see
occasionally.
that happen from Bisu.
And he actually still has that sitting there, so maybe that gets another use later. A little counter drop here from Speed. Normally
love
we
it.
don't see drops at this point, but I love when we do.
Oh!
'Cause look at this. Like he's getting a little bit of damage. He's being a little bit annoying. If he's got
And
the
he just-
ATM
he
to
just
do
picks
this
up his
continue
units
to
and walks
macro at
away.
home, it's a great move.
Yeah,
Another
well, he
command
wants the Protoss to be
center.
trying to chase this down, slow it down. Terran is going to have an easy 4th, I think. But, outside of those bases, it gets pretty hard for Terran to really take that much more. So, Bisu is about to max out, so he's going to try to dive in once more. Can he get a storm drop off here? Oh, that's too bad.
It's too bad he didn't drop the Zealot out first there. He would have actually gotten it.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the drop of speed still moving out. Notice how he's dropping and microing a little bit while sending out his command center for his 4th base. So kind of keeping Bisu a little bit busy while he sets up that 4th. I'll tell you, we're actually set up for a really good macro game here. Like this is...
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, I think so. I still like Speed's position slightly more. I think the one thing he needs to do, he needs to super reinforce the high ground to the left-hand side of his mineral base. And once he gets a lot of mines, turrets, depots, siege tanks there, just send a few vultures on the right side of the map to keep track of Nexus counts. And, like, that's a very good position on this map for Terran. Ooh, that was a really good mine hit. Kills a lot of vultures with that.
Okay, he's going to try to come in again. Some of these mines could be pulled right into these tanks. Does he have the storm? Where are the Templars? Here they are. They're going to be dropped out here. Really good storms. There's a couple more vultures coming up. Storms on vultures, by the way, totally acceptable here. You just want to storm anything that Terran has.
Definitely needs a backup from there, but he does control that high ground. This is where you can actually sometimes, like, grab a game from Terran where they're doing really well, specifically on Dominator. If you are rallying towards their 3rd base like this, in these positions where they're counterclockwise from you, if you have that high ground to stage your attacks from, it's very hard to mine from the command center, and there's a lot of missed shots that happen from the siege tanks as you come down. Now look, he's jumping in once again. There's no mines in front, and Psy Storms are going to be super strong here. Look at that beautiful Psy Storm right there. Beautiful Psy Storm on the tanks, and he is forcing back the position. Bisu, earlier it felt like he was being maybe a little bit wasteful with some of those attacks, but you kind of see the longer-term plan here. And the fact that he is focusing on this area and getting that additional damage, that's the type of move I think that is very strong on Dominator.
Yeah. I think the idea is to try to just wash over the Terran army as many times as possible. The problem is the Terran is getting more and more upgrades. Now, the Storm is always going to be viable versus the upgraded Terran army. So you really, the later the game goes, the more you want to watch and see when the storms connect. It's when the TVP, it starts to look like a ZVP. Like you're really looking for the storms. If those storms connect, the damage is probably going to be optimized. But, you know, there's this base at the top right. I wish he had made a DT or something to deny that. Because Protoss can deny that base. If he gets enough observers out and dragoons out, he can clear that area. He can counterattack into there.
Just having that one
Terran,
DT out on the map is so important at this stage of the game.
Terran, they can easily
From
hold
just having the
5.
Terran out
The ones
snowball
that are
you.
not so good for Terran, they can hold 4 or sometimes even only 3.
Yeah, that is for sure. And you know, there's portions of Dominator that are hard for Terran, but once you start growing like this, it becomes a little bit difficult for Protoss to clear these things. Like, they really have to send maxed armies around, and Bisu's not quite at that supply right now. Now, there is a little Vulture Raid there on that 6th base. In the meantime, Bisu trying to come in with another Storm drop. Actually, that Storm right there was very, very good. You know, he's definitely getting
storm.
He's getting there
with this harassment, but Speed is too. Like, Speed is doing a pretty good job of his own harassment here.
You lose that command center, that would suck.
This game is on a very Protoss trajectory.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Protoss is going to take the upper right main. He's slowly filling in all the locations of bases that can be taken on the map. I think we're going to see if the game can be stretched out here by Speed, and that'll become dependent on if he can get this command center secured. He needs to repair that, by the way. That could just burn down, as the observer's showing us over
That
here.
would not be good.
Now, Terrans can be stuck on like 5 bases and occasionally still win, but it's hard.
He's going to lose the command center.
It's really hard to pull off.
Oh, man.
Oh, I love this Templar here.
This bust right here, this is a big chunk of Speed's tanks. That was really well done for Bisu. Speed was out of position for this. He did not have the position set up correctly. And now that 5th base is going to be under fire, he's going to lose the command center. He never repaired it. So, like, you can just target that down with a few Dragoon hits. Oh, man.
Mr. Rockman, welcome. That is so sad. Oh, man, that is so sad to see.
The CC out. And this is looking.
How's it going, good sir? Welcome.
Bisu,
we're watching StarCraft again today.
I would have thought this was best. What about you?
Yeah, you might be right about that. I'm being quiet for a second here because I'm like thinking back through the game and like the shuttle drops. Like definitely the way he's been attacking has some best in it. Now another storm drop coming down. Ooh, that mine was so good. Storm drop comes down and doesn't really get too much here. But I don't think that matters to Bisu all that much, right? He's going up to 7 bases right now. He's up 50 supply.
Yeah,
He killed the
I
command
think
center
Speed's
on that
pretty,
right-hand base.
pretty.
I think Speed just hasn't quite set up strong enough defensive positions.
We're going to the
Well,
winners
it's
match,
funny.
guys.
First 2 trades.
Bisu
scratching your head
versus
about it, right? It didn't
seem
TY.
ideal, but I guess he really did
Ooh, this
lower
is
the
going to be
tank count
interesting.
enough.
That's
You know,
I think that's where Protoss versus Terran, like from the Protoss perspective, is a bit of art and a bit of science where it's like, okay, when do you trade? Because it's likely to be inefficient, but also reducing tank count is an important thing to do. You can't just let them free max out, you know?
Yeah.
Not
Like,
at this
Yeah, it's
level.
199 to
Games I win,
139. It's pretty
it's like
bad.
if I hold on a
He
second,
lost
I'm gonna
all of
fight
his
coming up here again.
tanks.
And I think he's just going to throw zealots
yeah,
into
I
the
think this
tanks,
might
yeah,
just be
you always
GG.
would. He's going to storm what he can. This is an insane spot to storm here. Oh my god. And then I think you run out. When the zealots are all killed off, you
Yes.
say, okay, well the
Yeah,
damage
and then you
can't
just
be
build more
spread out any
zealots,
further. I'll go
reinforce
back,
a
I'll
little
macro
bit
back
more,
up.
and you're good to
And,
go.
You know, eventually all these gases the Terran have, they deplete. And then all you have is those few tanks and Goliaths remaining. For the StarCraft 2 players watching, you don't run fully out of gas. You can always drain a little bit, but it's much less. And so, you know,
25%.
you're just going to have less. Yeah, 25% of what you were getting originally. So, you know, from there, Bisu having more locations on the map, I think he can basically just keep producing and trying to do what he's been
That's a
doing
lot
this
of
whole
tanks,
time.
though.
He's just trading really efficiently.
But that's like
and he
3
has more on the
storms,
map.
and those tanks
The
are
third,
dead.
Actually, I'm sorry. Is that that's the 4th base? No, that was the 3rd base he took at the top right. So that's going to mine out pretty soon. I give that a couple more minutes. And then it's going to be this mineral only.
Well, he needs to take another base. He was trying to take it on the right. Like, maybe he wants to try the left. The thing is, the left doesn't build into any other bases. It's like, you're just kind of like sitting on 5 then. It's tricky. It's tricky, like, which side you try to expand to. And that's always kind of the thing with Terran is as you get up to about 5 bases, it becomes more and more difficult to decide where to expand and how to set up your defense. And that's where Bisu's been punishing him. I think the biggest punish we've seen, like, we've seen some good busts above the 4th base, but that line of tanks that he absolutely massacred when he killed the 6th base was like a crucial moment here for Bisu, where I think he really locked in his advantage. Great EMP, by the way. He got 2 High Templars with that.
Yeah. I actually kind of forgot you could EMP versus that.
Yeah.
That's pretty genius. I guess you can have the same defense you would have versus Arbiter Recall that you can have here, right? Just throw down an EMP. In theory, you could fire the EMP out before they could get the Templar clicked on and shoot it out themselves, right? Because it's not like you can really microverse that. You have to basically shoot the shuttles in and just click unload on each of them and try to get out whatever you can. So, I mean, great save on the SCVs. Bisu's now maxing out. He's going to take probably the last expansion he can realistically have here. That's going to be the base that we just looked at a second ago. And, you know, for Terran, there's 2 locations, one to the left and one to the right of his position that he can take. And, I think it's hard to imagine Protoss ever taking that and taking the minerals from there. So this will probably still come down to a PvT where the Protoss is trying to.
Is this
break
shuttle
into
just
those
sitting there,
final
just sitting
bases
on
and
top
deny
of a
that.
making
Otherwise, the
turret?
game goes on.
Oh, another
Oh
storm
my
drop.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
14 kills on that storm drop. That is
14.
insane.
Yeah,
That is insane.
this is
Beautifully
this
done.
is-
80 supply advantage for Bisu here. It feels
And,
like
you
it's just
know-
a matter of time for him to close this game out.
You got to remember,
He's
too,
lost,
Terran don't
like,
have that many locations
60
they're mining from, right?
SCVs.
So that's like
It's
all
so
the
bad.
SCVs. In fact, it looks like there's almost no SCVs. So this is going to be that last shot here for Speed. He's going to try to defend
Defense
this base
matrix!
up here. And I mean, at this point in time, Bisu can trade fairly inefficiently, and it's probably okay. The
Yeah,
bridge
he
is
just needs to
scary,
push
but,
and,
you know,
like,
a couple storms, just the way
outstyle
this
him.
is set up, and I think it's going to be tough to deal with.
I think speed is going to die right here. He's going to have like nothing left over. Bisu just has a completely maxed army running in here. He's brought all of his units together. He's clearing all these tanks. He's going to kill the command center.
Again.
The economy of speed is dead. He is going to GG. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to like
Speed's a little bit upset there, but he probably knew he wouldn't be able to compete with Bisu.
2007 maybe, and how strong he looked. We're here in 2025, and he looks just as good, man. He looks so scary.
So now we have TY versus
It really
Bisu.
is an art form for Protoss to know when you can actually attack in, and
the winners, the losers, and the finals.
Kill those tanks, and it looks a little messy. You might say,
JYJ
why were you doing that? Shouldn't you have stayed back and masked up? Apparently not. Speed never had enough tanks to really do much of anything in that game.
I think his setups were just a little bit off. I think his initial setup was really good in front of his natural, but when he set up in front of his fourth, like, you have to super reinforce that position.
Yeah, that was
because
really bad.
Is,
you need tank lines.
Too good at that third,
you need like
that
2 or 3 tank
base.
lines.
Like everything on the low ground, you're missing shots. You have to hold that high ground pizza slice, and you didn't do that. And then as he took his 6th base, it's like, I'm fine with him taking the 6th base, but you have to have mines, turrets, siege tanks spread. You can't just clump up stuff and think you're going to defend against this type of speed shuttle style.
All right, guys, short break, and then Bisu's back at it again, this time versus TY. We will see you in a minute.
For the best, made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design, a quantum leap in speed, optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling, and a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
Keep these. Litness. It's the new map. Got me some OJ to hydrate me. Got some chips so we can mow.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time to go to the winners match here. Another PVT. This time Bisu versus TY, and I don't know, man. I mean, let's see what happens. TY is very crafty early on, but I do feel like Bisu should have a pretty big upper hand.
This is going to be interesting because we're going to go to Litmus. This is going to be the first time that we're seeing this map used in ASL. I mean, obviously it's just day 2, but Litmus is kind of a crazy map, and here is the map of it. So basically, this is a lot, and they actually have cut a lot of the map off, which is hilarious. This is, I can't believe that they have a border that has cut off incredibly important portions of the map at the top and bottom. That, and the right. That is insane.
My favorite part about this map is that the bottom right main doesn't have minerals.
Yeah, well, if you spawn in the bottom right, you're at a big disadvantage.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to get
Yeah, the graphic, whatever they're showing right now,
Dude,
is not
whoever,
what should be
whoever
showing.
did this is such a... It's so, guys,
It's fucked it
there's minerals at 3 o'clock at the right, and there's paths. It's just like Neo Dark Origin with paths that you can jump stuff over or mine out or kill stack buildings at the top and bottom of the map. One of the big things here is the third base is really far from the natural, further than any other map that we have right now. So in a bigger macro game, it's going to be a little bit hard for TY to actually secure a third. He's going to have to get way out of position for that. So that's kind of the tricky thing. This is probably a map where you're going to see like 6 or 7 factory, like even to take a third base, because I don't know how else you would end up doing it. So I think that the map, the one thing that they did do that kind of helped things is there's 2 geysers, each with 3k gas in the main base. So while and a lot of the things in the map point towards Protoss being very strong against Terran here, the second geyser makes it so that offensive gas is no longer going to completely destroy your game like it did on previous maps that were similar to this.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. Having 2 gases is huge. The gas steal can't really happen, or if you did it, it wouldn't make any sense at all. They just take the other one. All right, guys, next best of 1 starting now. The winner of this survives Group B and goes on to the round of 16.
It's gonna be Bisu. Everyone knows it's gonna be Bisu.
Okay, we've got Bisu here in the top right, TY here in the bottom right, with player colors that bother me deeply. We have turquoise and gray. Okay, the observer fixed that one pretty quick. I was like, this is going to be rough. Yeah. This is going to be hard on my eyes looking at the mini-map. You can do that by hitting Shift-Tab, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Or you can turn yourself. I think it was a Shift-Tab once or twice. I do it when I play, from my perspective, so that I'm always green and the enemy is always red.
So that's hitting it twice. If you hit it once, it'll turn your opponent red on the mini-map, but keep their color. But if you hit it once while you're observing, it will turn it to red-blue.
Okay, yeah. Red-blue has been the kind of de facto color set for a long time. It's the easiest for eyes, especially people with color blindness, stuff like that, easiest for them to see.
Yeah, I casted the ASL qualifiers on my Artosis Cast YouTube channel, and there was a Protoss versus Protoss match where they were 2 different shades of like beigeish pink.
I remember that.
You literally couldn't tell the units apart when they were fighting, man. I'm like, I think these are like Paralyzes Reavers. I don't know. It was so bad. I couldn't believe that they did not switch the colors for that.
Oh, it's a nightmare. If you cast a Terran versus Terran and there's just tons of mines planted on top of each other, you're like, well, I just have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, Litmus. I really don't know what we'll end up seeing. There's like a lot of interesting paths around the map. There's like kind of 3 main lanes. The lane on the very left. There are stacked buildings that will open it up so it's easier to go through, but they're stacked buildings, so it takes a while. Like siege tanks can clear them fast, lurkers can clear them fast. Protoss doesn't really have stuff. Like Protoss units do a lot of damage, so you can clear them, but it takes more babysitting. So that could be a little bit annoying. I don't know if we'll get into a game where the left-hand side of the map is really used, but the map is a bit crazy. I've played a fair amount of games here so far, and I don't have a strong opinion on it yet. It's wild.
I've only played 1 game so far. I feel like if you try to queue up and get this map, it's pretty tough. Yeah. A lot of people have it vetoed.
Yeah, I think so.
Excuse me. But I kind of want to see more maps with a double gas, like 2-player spawns, a double gas in the man, because I think a lot of Terrans, especially players that are they're not S ranked or they're not ASL, caliber. Dealing with gas steals is hard.
It's
really
really
discouraging. Yeah, I mean, I think Terrence can play it. We see, people like Flash never lose when it happens. But, I think for the ecosystem of the ladder, maps with 2 gases are really good because they kind of let the player not have to worry about his entire build order getting hijacked by someone who's going to cheese him. So I wouldn't mind some of the ideas on this map being implemented in other maps.
Yeah, strategically, when your gas gets taken, that's one of the biggest differentials as far as, like, how prepped you need to be strategy-wise compared to your opponent. Because Protoss can just steal gas and then just follow the build order, being 100 minerals behind where they normally are. And then with Terran, it's like, no, everything changes. Everything. It's crazy. And then, well, hold on. He's actually putting on quite a bit of pressure here, but this is more than enough units to hold this. He's going to easily crush. So looks pretty good there.
Yeah, Bisu actually overextending. He's going to lose that Zealot. The Vulture can just snipe it. No hull damage on the Dragoon. But again, you got to be careful, man. When you do this kind of pressure and you lose a unit or two, you can end up with a Terran counterpunch that's pretty devastating.
Very true. Very true. If you take a bit too much damage, lose a few too many units, and then they add in like a siege tank and get mines, sometimes that counter push can do a really great job. We'll see if TY does some sort of push like that. He does have the Vulture coming up and just checking, making sure he sees the Nexus and the timing. But yeah, the double geyser, like, this is such a healthier opener than we see on 2-player maps normally. Like,
Two-player maps are always gas
with 2-player maps,
steals.
like, okay, your gas is stolen. Terran doesn't have any options for this amount of time while they try to get some tech out. I do wonder if maybe this is the future of 2-player maps. They're like kind of testing it right now. I don't think
That's why it's called
we should
Litmus.
completely get rid of the potential of gas steal on a 2-player map, but like, and tell me if you agree, but like this just something about this. I'm like, yeah, the game's even. That's nice. Whereas when there's a gas steal, I'm like, well, Terran's kind of fighting this weird scenario where Protoss has a complete feel for what they can accomplish right now.
Sure. I mean, I think what happens is that the Terran in the gas, and I do think there's a way for Terran to play, and you're going to be fine, but it's really hard to pull it off. I don't think it's as hard for the ASL players. There's also gas steals that incorporate a cheese or some kind of pressure, which I've seen Bisu specifically do in ASL because I've copied some of those builds from him. And those also require a very specific way to for the
flies.
Terran player to behave, or they will just get killed. Or if they misread it and they're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize it was DTs. I thought it was like, a gas steal into the Protoss double expanding, with Dragoon pressure. That can go poorly. But yeah, I mean, a game like this, this was basically just a normal one-base pressure build into an expand. By the way, pressure builds PvT seem to be a lot more popular this year and last year. We had a lot of games where you just see like one Zealot made and a Dragoon sent out, and they kind of get in the Terran space. Historically, one Zealot.
And you're one Zealot, then 2 Zealots, and 3 Zealots, and you got like 4 Marines to fight against 3 Zealots, and you're just like hiding between buildings, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Other stuff later on too. I mean, it's always handy in a big Dragoon fight to have one Zealot kind of charging in to the Dragoons and forcing them to be microed back. But I think this is a Reaver. I'm sorry, not a Reaver drop, a Templar drop, DT drop coming up.
I think it's going to be a 2-base Arbiter rush.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we'll know when the Templar Archives comes down, because if a Robo goes with it, then it's going to be that. But a 2-base Arbiter Rush is also fine. I guess in a map like this, to your point, Artosis, if you know they're just like going to power up and not take a 3rd base, 2-base Arbiter is probably the best way to try to stop that.
Yeah, I think that.
How many games are we in? This is the winner's match, so we've already played 2 games.
We're going to get into a base trade almost
This is the 3rd of 5 matches, so we're halfway through the day.
This is sick.
How's it going,
This is really
Beezus?
good. So, yeah, there's no Marines here.
Bisu should rush to DT, and he might be able to win this, because like the army is actually like SCVs could, in theory, with a few units, like kill this. Oh, he turns around with some of his units. What is TY doing? I don't like this at all.
Trying to figure out what's going on.
I think TY's making a mistake.
Huge
my
mistake.
God, he's like right-click these tanks in here. Oh, this might just
Terrible,
end, man.
Yeah, Bisu just won.
So all Protoss has to do is keep sandbagging this.
Yeah. Yeah, he just needs to chill for a minute. Yeah, he has his Templar Archives, and now you just make DTs and you win. That's it. Damn. Okay. I actually was going to say, as the move out was coming, I'm like, oh, I kind of like the idea behind this build. Like, you're trying to get out there with heavy marine tank and do some damage, but Bisu just runs around it, and he is going to crush. Like, this game is going to be over in a moment. This is so much damage.
This is pretty insane.
Yeah.
So Dragoon counterattacks, I've also messed with this in PvP. It's crazy what you can do. You know, 6 to 8 Dragoons running into a base. You know, Dragoons, when there's a small number of Dragoons against a small number of units, they're so strong. So he's going to send the DT up here now. Is there a scan? I didn't even see.
Yeah, GG.
That's it.
That
Jesus, man. Wow, Bisu just plowed through this group.
He crushed this group so hard. It was, especially that game. I mean, that was a great choice, but TY turning around was completely
TY.
The thing is, I think Bisu was going to win anyways because he happened to already have his Citadel, you know? So I think he was like going to be fine because of DTs. You'll do better in a base trade. I like the idea from TY, honestly. I might actually try that on that map. But yeah, Bisu just absolutely manhandles him and crushes the group, gets out in first place. I don't know why I ever doubted this guy.
That counterattack was crazy, but honestly, TY kind of messed up his control. It seemed like he right-clicked the tanks back home because he knew if he didn't right-click it in that moment, they might, if he A-clicked them back home, they might stay with the fight. But the problem is he didn't reset the command.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he
you're right.
right-clicked into his base. So here's what happened. And by the way, this is something we're seeing, I think, as an idea, it's become more and more emergent. First of all, Protoss always liked to counterattack Terran. But this whole idea of like literally not even showing them, not even trying to flank them, not trying to buy time, just sealing yourself off and then running in here, because a 2-base timing like that, you can't really leave stuff at home. You need like everything, and that includes the Marines. The Marines soak up extra shots.
And he just
so
keeps
what he
building
does is
buildings to make it so he can't
just
get
sends
in.
his Dragoons in. He just builds a wall. He just keeps building behind it, does whatever he can. Now, these tanks should have done a little bit better, but instead they just sort of slid up into Dragoon range and were killed off. And, you know, from here you've lost so many SCVs. It's disastrous. All you needed, you know, in some ways I think he could have even just held this off with Dragoons and no DTs. He had 4 Dragoons, which probably behind a wall would have held that. But,
Maybe.
I mean, the DTs, that's a death sentence.
Yeah, the DTs, it was just like the perfect scenario there for Bisu to hold this easily. I think the 2-base Arbiter makes a lot of sense because there's no way to block Arbiters with turrets on this map, so a good choice anyways. We're going to go to an interview and see what Bisu's thinking about this very quick group.
Yeah, you just pop, pop, pop.
ASL Season 20.
You're watching Group B of the round of 24 of ASL Season 20 as we
So
have
it's 2
our
games
first
that
player
were less
through
than
to the
10
round of
minutes.
16 today. It's Bisu. Congratulations. Thank you. You are the first player advancing on today. How does that make you feel? Out of all the round of 24 groups, I thought that this one was the group of death. Right. I honestly didn't know if I would make it. It was all up in the air. But you know, I really practiced a lot. I'm glad that it yielded this result. Today is a just reward for diligence. Bisu, your Dragoon micro in the first game was nothing short of inspiring. Your attacks were relentless. You kept attacking your opponent's resource lines with Shuttle Templar to secure victory. What did you think of that first match today? The first game is ever so vital. I kept pulling ahead in the early game. I think in the mid-game, though my shuttle micro was off, I managed to capitalize on my advantages. Yeah, I think that was it.
Yep, I just won. Fuck it.
The early game advantage
We did what we
result
needed
in
to
a
do, and
victory.
we won.
In
Winners
the
win,
second game,
bitches.
scouting
Get
with
the
your
fuck
observer, you
over it.
decided to
Go home.
circumvent the army and not go for a
Bisu's
full-blown
gonna be the
It was
champion
perfect
this year,
decision-making as you
guys.
pressed your opponent's empty main. So much so, the casters likewise commented on your brilliant decision. How did you arrive at this decision?
So, I just went to attack
It's a
him, and
build
it
that
turned out it was a
Flash
great
likes to play.
counterattack
It's a build I
time.
normally lose to whenever I try to fight it head on or stop it. So there really was no other decision to make other than go around. There were no vultures, no mines planted either. If I go behind, I might get one timing, I thought. It seems to have been a good move. It was a day of solid judgment calls indeed. What would you like to show in the round of 16? I always make the round of 16, but I can't recall the last time I advanced to the quarterfinals. The mindset I have this time is, come on, let's make the round of 8.
Hell yeah.
I want to advance to the next step, one step at a time. Step by step and on to the round of 8 is what Bisu is hoping for. A lot of fans showed up to the studio to lend you their support, and many will be watching online as well. Do you have anything to say to them? Whether it's cause of my new peripherals, we won't know, but I advanced through with 2 straight wins. I think this is a good start overall. It's really been a while since I properly proved myself. Let's take it step by step. Let's make the round of 8. Let's try and get seeded. Getting seeded is a goal I'm setting for myself, and for helping me practice, I was unsure about what to do for the first game, and Royal said, hey, how about you try this build? It worked well. So Royal, and for practice, Sack, Flash, Rush, Barracks, they practice with me a lot, thank you, and C, thank you for your support, and my fans, I will work really hard this time, so please cheer for me. I really want to do well this time. And that does it for our interview with Bisu, who makes it through to the round of 16 in first place. Congratulations on advancing. Thank you for the interview. Thank you.
Alright, now the losers
We'll be
match.
back in a few with today's losers and decider matches.
I love how they say that. We'll be back for the losers to play. Today's losers are JYJ and TY. You are the biggest loser.
We're back. The Protoss survives, and now we have 3 Terrans battling it out to see who is going to get that last spot here from Group B. I gotta say, Bisu looked really good. He made this look so easy today.
He did. He did. And, you know, now I think the I actually want to go back to that shot of the studio for
Group stager,
see
double
how many
elimination
fans
bracket
are
in this?
line
Yeah.
for a Bisu autograph, and how many are going to
Yeah.
sit down and watch this magnificent TVT that's about to unfold.
And they're all
I mean,
they're all best of
probably More
ones.
fans standing, getting signatures, than people sitting. If I had to
It's
guess.
just to get through the round of
Probably
24 so
big
the
catch
tournament
of the
goes
day.
faster.
For
Excuse me,
sure.
the big catch of the day here.
They do that instead of doing
You know, that
best of
runaround,
threes.
man, I can't get over how smooth he made that look. It's almost like the map was made to
So
just
it's
exhibit
kind of
that
like a best of 3,
maneuver,
but
right?
Definitely.
in a
He
group
did such a good
instead
job
of
with that,
just
and, like he knew exactly what to
1v1
do
3
and when to
times,
do it.
right?
Very impressive.
Because
play
you
there
get
from
3
Bisu,
chances
but,
to win.
You know, now we're going into these very strong Terran players, and best of 1 TVTs. I mean, there's a lot of risky builds you can do in Terran vs. Terran, or do you try to play steady and solid? I don't know.
Hard to say. You know, both these guys, insanely good. I think maybe Speed's slightly favored, but JYJ, I mean, he's so
I put my
scary.
money on Speed.
All going to come down to this one game on Litmus, too. Should be a fun one, Artosis. Do we have a clear favorite, or do we just have to wait and see?
Yeah, between these two, I think this is a really good match. JYJ is more experienced, but I think Speed recently has been a slightly higher level, so hard to say.
Okay. Speed here in the top right, JYJ in the bottom right. Honestly, the first time this map came out and I played it on ladder, like, I hadn't looked at it yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was talking about in our Patreon podcast that, like, I basically play StarCraft in these bursts. So, like, I play hardcore for a few months and then I stop and then I come back and I find I always play a little bit better. But every time when the maps change, I don't know. Right?
Oh,
It's
that's funny.
So he just like goes in the game and
Back
says,
up on
oh
this, and I'm
fuck,
like,
I don't know what this
okay,
map
I
is.
see the top
The
left, I'm
fuck,
like,
why
I
is there
don't
2
even know.
geyser?
I don't know where to find him. Like, what is this?
That's funny.
I always think, okay, if it's a 2-player map, they have to be in the cross spawns, but I actually think this is a great map. TVT on this map, by the way, we talk a lot about the map being split in half, or maybe one side gets 60% of the map, and that means it's probably going to go to that player, because it's not uncommon for all the bases to be taken in a TVT if it goes on for long enough.
Yeah,
Well,
you
on this
draw
map, there
a
are three
tank
bases
line
in the
and
middle.
sit back
Three
and wait.
bases to contest.
Yes. And there's high ground at the 2 bases in the middle and on the left. So
I love that we're playing the same map again,
if
so we
you
actually get to
control
see what the
big
map's
ramp
like,
leading
because
down
that game
toward
was
your
just so
opponent,
fast.
like the front of their natural, that area, that's going to be incredibly strong. Because of that, we should have vulture openers on both sides. Well, I mean, that's almost always the case anyways, but like especially on this map. One thing to note is that if it starts to go long, this map splits really quickly, because the left-hand lane, like the lefternmost lane, is very thin. It can be held with very few C-chinks. The rightmost lane is pretty darn thin and doesn't need that many C-chinks. And there's actually like 2 center lanes. There's one with the base that you can see on the mini-map,
And then there's the
which
other
is high
side.
ground, and then there's a small narrow path next to that on low ground. So
That
there's
the,
actually like
the
technically
SCV is
4
gonna
lanes
pass
here, one
right
without
now.
an expand. And the only one that's kind of big is the one with the expansion. Everything else is a little bit tight. So you can actually split the map with siege tanks pretty quickly here, which is oftentimes the case on any map that's thin like this. Is like, oh, this might get split up, and we might get into like a battle cruiser type game because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, BCs when you can't sort this out by pushing.
That's the ultimate
narrow
end
maps,
game
yeah,
of
I mean,
TVT,
things get
is
sealed off
when
pretty
you have
quick.
tank lines and you can't
you do
push,
have
then
to
you
switch
go
to
battle
skies.
cruisers into Yamato, and your
remember
Yamato
way back in
down
the
the
day,
tank lines.
when I played
Slowest
on random,
fucking
so I
pushes
got
you
a
can
decent
do,
amount
but
of
that's the
TVT.
only
I
thing
was
you
always
can do.
just
And you have to get like
mystified what a beautiful game StarCraft is. In that, like, you
science
do end up with
vessels,
mass
so
battle
you
cruisers
can
in late game TVT, you know.
so
Like,
you
even
can
back in the early days, it
Yamato,
was like,
or
people had
so you
figured
can
that out.
EMP the battle
Like,
cruisers,
eventually you do end up
so they can't
lining
Yamato
map
you.
turrets.
And it's just like this
Honestly,
back
I
and
think
forth,
the
counter,
TVT
counter,
have
counter,
changed quite a
counter.
bit.
It's why
But
TVTs tend to get so long if the map is
basic
split in half.
structure of the matchup all the way to Supreme Endgame was always kind of there, including in the early days. Like, if you go back to the sort of cringy cable TV shows they had, kind of surrounding Brood War, on Korean TV, and you watch like 1 or 2. No, but I mean, just the TV back then was just bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't. It's not like what we're used to now. You could see TVTs play out in a lot of the same ways they play today.
Late game battle cruisers are the strongest. They beat pretty much everything. You just have to have some missile turrets and a few siege tanks to make sure Goliaths don't overwhelm you. But yeah, that's definitely the case. By the way, JYJ did just get a scout. That's something that he failed to do against TY, so he saw the command center making. As soon as you see that command center making, you can adjust your vulture production to what you want to do. So just something to keep in mind there. Both of them coming up to harass the floating in barracks.
Good morning,
And,
Eddie in the mix.
yeah,
How's it
we'll see if
going,
anyone
brother?
wants to- yeah, no one's gonna
How
turn
are
around. They're
you?
just going to fly through the damage. But this run up from
True,
JYJ,
what a
this can be a little
great
bit dangerous.
day.
So he only kills 1, and he's going to lose 2 vultures from it.
Yeah.
Watching
If you do it correctly,
StarCraft.
and it looks like Speed actually doesn't. I was going to say,
Yeah.
you can moving shot the Vulture just like you can moving shot a Mutalisk,
Yes.
or a Corsair, or anything else like that, and you can just kill the unit. They'll never be able to retreat, but it seems like he messed up a little bit in his control. Speed's going to loop around with 3 more Vultures, but with 2 Marines and 3 Vultures over here, especially with the repair, I don't think there's anything that Speed can do.
No, he really can't get in there at the moment. Third factory coming up on both sides. JYJ a little bit quicker on that, a little bit later on the
You
add-on,
never
I think,
use your
just
barracks
slightly, but that's
in
okay. And
TVT,
he's
so you
adding-
use it to
yeah,
scout.
okay,
so you
that's
just
the
fly
third
your
factory.
barracks
So
into the
3
enemy's
factory
base.
Vulture on both sides. No big surprise there.
You don't
The
care.
4
You,
Vultures
like
will
you
come in.
need
have
it to
get
build
the target
factories, so
Marines
you
pretty
don't
quickly
want to
here. They
lose
have higher
it. So
DPS
you usually
than
kill their
Vultures.
Marines and then
you
run
see he
away,
didn't
just like he
target
did
them right
there.
away, so actually JYJ ends up getting the advantage there.
JYJ basically just playing a little bit more defensively here. He's going to get that moving shot off. He does kill that last Vulture as it tries to retreat. The third factory for Speed is finishing up. And, yeah, I mean, we're going to get to that, both sides on 3 factory Vultures accumulating, powering up, and eventually probably getting 1 or 2 tanks out here.
Now, one of the decisions they have to make is whether or not they want to add more factories. because 4 factory vulture beats 3 factory vulture, and 5 factory vulture beats that. And that kind of maxes out what you can make. Speed pops out a siege tank. This has become increasingly popular as kind of like it just. It's
Have you
hard
noticed,
for
Beezus,
vultures
I'm
to kill a
slightly
siege tank,
fucking
and it
drunk
does good damage
tonight.
against them, so
Had some
having
beers
one
over
messes up
at
the map of
my
what your
sister's
opponent might
house.
be able to do. 4th factory coming up here for Speed, but we do
It's the
not
4th
see
time I
that
punched
from
the
JYJ's
fucking
side.
mic.
He's going to make his
I'm
own
not
siege
paying
tank as
attention.
well.
Get the
No
fuck
second
out of
gas
here.
yet. How do you know when to take the second gas in a situation like this, where you're kind of both doing the same thing, and a lot of what you need is just mineral?
You wait.
Mineral based.
You wait until you're wanting to switch into siege tanks. Like gas is so not important. We just saw that SCVs were pulled from gas. Neither of them are mining at full capacity, because right now it's just about getting that vulture count up. If you have more vultures, then it gives you map control. That's like the most important thing. Both of them with 2 siege tanks.
It's like Zerglings for Zerg.
This has been an interesting development. It's been more and more common that we're seeing like 2 siege tanks with the mass vulture builds. But he comes up, and what are you going to target? It's not really the greatest focus fire there for a moment. 1 tank dies on each side, and it seems like Speed is just slightly ahead on this. But no, he actually gets the tank. My bad. Yeah.
No,
try
I thought the
Speed.
same thing.
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to get the upper hand, but yeah, without the tank, you really don't have anywhere near as much muscle. Vultures take a lot of shots to kill tanks.
You're gonna turn into
So,
an alcoholic
you
by
wanna
the
try to
time your
focus it
friend
down.
goes
Normally,
home.
The most important.
No,
thing
because
you
I'm
wanna
never
try to
gonna leave
focus
my
on,
house
sometimes
again,
that doesn't make
Beezus,
sense,
and
'cause
then
if you focus that
I'm
full,
never gonna be able to
this will
drink a
die.
beer.
By the time you kill the tank, you'll have already lost the fight. So he's going to just pepper this area with mines. Oh, he's going to go for the tank, and he actually runs up into the front. There's one SCV
This
repairing.
is 2 more days,
Now with
guys.
the
Just 2 more
surround here,
days.
Speed's going to have a pretty big punish. Is
Oh,
this
man.
actually enough?
That, I don't know why he poked with the tank. He could have sat further back, but the SCVs coming up definitely helped here for Speed. Speed, though, starting to lose a few units. As more of his vultures come out, he will push us back. Don't forget that he got a quick 4th factory. So, you know, he can kind of like overwhelm with vultures here. JYJ actually had a better position. If he sat a little bit further back and just rallied up, because of these mines, he would have been good. I don't know why he attacked up with a damaged siege tank. It just doesn't make sense.
You should have
Like, that
repaired it. That's
allowed
the
Speed
stupidest thing ever.
To push him out, and now we've got a game that is pretty much in an even position.
Yeah, you know, it almost seemed like earlier on, his tank got stuck on a vulture and an SCV or something. Speed's going to try to come down here. Can he actually switch these shots up, targeting each vulture? It seems like JYJ just barely has an upper hand. Reinforcements are going to come
Sex
down. and now
ba-bomb!
Speed's
Hey, Blessed, how's it going, good sir?
actually,
Somehow,
targeting there
Speed
for a
winds up
second.
winning.
Great micro to keep that extra vulture alive.
VIP!
He can snipe the SCVs as they retreat. He might even be able to press it further here.
Very inspectable
You know,
penis.
it takes 8 vultures to one-shot another vulture, so you got to kind of pay attention to these numbers. Like, if it's 3 versus 4, it gets really, really bad really quickly, as you can see here. Speed just kind of out-microing and out-macroing JYJ just slightly.
Scott
That
Pilgrim
quicker
reference.
4th factory really paying off for him here.
I'm glad you said it before I asked Artosis. I didn't want to ask another question. I'm like, how many of these to kill this? And you just go, I don't know that either, Tasteless. Yeah, I mean,
Ads.
you get the 8. One-shotting the vultures is huge. Note that even though JYJ is still alive, a lot of SCVs were sniped in this.
Whoa.
Where my
What is Screen
hose?
doing here? I think he landed the barracks.
Yeah.
And like, hit that and then sent this in later on.
That's funny. It got 3
It's gotten
kills.
3 kills.
What? When does that ever happen? Oh my gosh, JYJ just so focused that he doesn't recognize that. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, it looks like both sides have a good amount of vultures out. Both of them kind of sitting back in a slightly more defensive
Screwdriver?
stance. Now I think we just saw Starport
Huh?
for
No, I'm
Speed
not
as well as
drinking
an
this.
Armory.
Like, I had 2 beers at my
So
sister's.
he's gonna
This is
continue
just
that
orange
tech
juice,
forward
so
a
I'm
little bit. And this is
rehydrating
kind of the
myself.
2 Starport. That's kind of interesting. Don't forget, you can go 3 gas here. So there is some tricky stuff you could do. Like, he could take that
I think
gas,
I think the barracks
have a
is gonna
normal
burn
amount of
down.
siege tanks and have a bunch of wraiths suddenly pop out. But if you go for these
I don't know what
wraiths
it's
and
called. It's
JYJ
my
actually
brother-in-law's.
has Goliaths
I
already
don't know. He
kind
just
of ready,
offered me a couple beer.
then he'll take a
Drinking
much
some
heavier
beer and not
map
even paying
control.
attention.
You
We were
have
just
to be
we were
really
just playing
careful when you do
Catan.
something like 2 bases wraiths.
Playing some Catan.
Yeah, I mean, what a tight game this has been. No third base on either side. Getting more upgrades here out of the factories. An
Novice.
extra add-on here too.
Oh.
That third CC.
I'm so dumb. That's a command center. I thought it was a
True.
second
2
center.
beer and I'm out.
That's weird. Okay.
1 beer, 2 beer, 3 beer floor.
I stumbled upon it when I was just doing the play-by-play of what they had. I'm like, oh, nope, there's a CC there. Do you want to expand?
Plus, like,
let's say
smoking,
your speed's
like,
perspective, do you wanna
multiplies
expand
it
down
by, like,
into that little
12.
base below your main, or
So
do you
that's
wanna
like having
expand
24
hugging the top?
beer.
All the TVTs I've played,
It's like-
it's been that little nook base has been the third base. In
And then I'm
TVT
just
for me
like the
and
rest
my
of the
opponents
night,
so
I'm just
far, but I
coming
haven't played,
down
like, a
and
ton of
feeling worse and
TVTs
worse
yet,
and just
so-
slowly getting
No,
a
the one
headache
closer
and
to the middle.
feeling gross.
Yeah, like the one right now where his vultures are going up, like that's the normal.
It's
third
like by the
right
time I go to bed, I'm
there.
already
For,
like
terrorist
halfway into a
And I think
hangover.
that it's probably correct. That side is really easy to defend. Like you can just have.
So I don't like drinking, but I mean, it's a good time. It loosens me up. It makes me, you know,
because it does have
more
that high
sociable.
ground, value to it, where you
So,
just have like
you know.
2-3 siege tanks, and it's almost impossible to break.
Okay, so that was close.
That was yeah.
This CC is
It's
gonna be
like
made
literally
on
on
the spot
top
here.
of the mine.
Lots of vultures out on both sides. It feels like now with siege mode up, it's a little bit hard for either side to really push into the other one. You overextend into siege mode, you're going to take a lot of damage. But there is a dropship out here for speed, and I think this is full of vultures. and I think
3.5
what he
years
wants to
sober
do
here.
is loop
Nice, man.
around
Yeah, like,
into the,
I used to drink
maybe
a
the main base, maybe
lot.
not even the natural, and try to unload
I
some
don't
vultures
really
there,
anymore.
and
I have to
then
drink a
maybe
gallon
you
of
can try to
water
push
and
out
eat a
on the map and
ton,
do
or I
damage
end up getting a
somewhere else.
hangover every time.
That's a good
True
point.
Jesus.
Like, you have that.
I used to be a
path
heavy
that they
drinker.
Absolutely didn't show in the map preview because
When I
they
was,
cut
like,
it off for
24.
some reason. But you could drop vultures
Right,
there.
drink
and
all
just
the
run
fucking
in, and that's,
time.
like, that's not an area you're
But,
really gonna be paying
yeah,
a ton of
not
attention to.
good.
We see that JYJ
So we don't do
just
that
put
anymore.
Some mines there. So I think he's like.
I like
kind
have
of
a couple
aware
of beer
that
on
this is
a
realistic
special
thing that could occur.
occasion, you know.
Oh.
A
he-
gallon of vodka a day, yeah,
I think he
pretty
actually
much.
ate a tank shot
And
for the
3
wood
2
mine.
liters.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, blessed.
That's actually funny. He already had a siege tank in that position, so he must have, in practice, figured out that, oh, this is a really good move here. So really great defense here from JYJ. I don't think he's going to really take much damage, if any.
Yeah, this tank should just shoot that down. Yeah, not really able to do much of anything. JYJ is going to try to push in.
You
here.
are hard
Goliath
to
Vulture off the
surprise.
block is pretty good.
I mean,
And
see,
because of
I
that,
haven't
we're
done
gonna
the
have
things,
JYJ
but I've
siege
known
out
a
little bit
lot
further
of
down. And it
people.
was
Like
Speed
3
actually
of my
putting into
friends'
JYJ,
dads
moving
have
through
died
this,
from
center area
alcoholism.
on the map. But
And
yeah,
they were
I don't
pretty
think
young,
Speed's
too.
gonna be able to
Like,
do much from
they're
this
only in their
position.
20s when their
It's a
dads
good
died.
position, though. Like, just the fact that he's sitting there and threatening this.
So
you have to
I
reinforce
know
that area with
some
a few more tanks
crazy
and just be
stories
really
about some
careful about it.
crazy shit with some
Speed got his
crazy people
expansion up quicker.
dies.
His draw
Very
didn't really
tragic,
do anything,
yeah.
But it did draw some
But,
attention,
you know,
which
that's
allowed
just the
this
way
push
that it
to do a
is,
little bit
right?
Better than it maybe should have done. So I gotta say, like, I think Speed is actually just
Can't
playing
do
a better
much when
game.
they won't
It's
do much for
reflected in his
themselves.
supply
So all
as
you
well.
can do is watch them waste away.
Yeah, he's way up in supply. I didn't think this was going to work, but it looks like there was not enough vultures here for JYJ to defend this. And I mean, this means the third is wide open.
Yeah, this is
You know,
bad
even
for
if this
JYJ.
can lift off, SCVs are going to be killed off. This is huge, man.
He's got a Wraith,
This
but
has to
it's
be
not going to
disappointing
do
for
anything. He's
JYJ.
got
He
Goliath.
didn't even make it in last season, and here he is. He's going to go out first in his group, a former champion of ASL, getting completely destroyed here by Speed. GG is called, and Speed goes to the
I'm going to
final
box
match.
you.
Man, what a game that was.
Yeah.
Speed shaking his
Bitch,
head.
take that.
Well, he actually was at a disadvantage when JYJ was across the map and laid the initial mines, but JYJ took his
I'll do
damage
the-
tank that he was repairing and sent it to attack. It just didn't make sense. If he sits
what the
further
fuck is the
back-
anime called?
Like, the further back you sit,
The no
they
EPO.
can't bring SCVs. And if he can't bring SCVs,
Right.
and
They both
you're
look
rally-
so
you're
angry that I
preparing
can't
yourself,
tell
you're
you.
rallying vultures, how is he to break out?
You know what's
How
funny
is-
about that? There's a compilation.
Welcome to a talk story.
Can you tell what player won the ASL? Is this it? StarCraft. There's like a compilation of it. It's like all the players next to them, and it's like, and it shows their faces, and it's like, can you figure out which one of these players won? And one of the players is like, and the other player's like, And it's like, fuck if I
to do
know.
that. But when you bring it right up near his command center, he just brings his SCVs, he brings his units that are rallying out quicker. It's further for your rally. Everything about it doesn't make sense. I think JYJ...
He won, by the
you
way.
look at the
That's the
games
guy
he
who
played
won.
today, and this
Speed
isn't
won.
the older JYJ
That's the
that we're
face of a
used to.
fucking winner.
Like, he didn't get a scout off on TY to see if he had a command center. And this game, he just did an attack. Where he
And
was ahead
yeah,
and he shouldn't have
JYJ
done.
is kicked out of the ASL.
Guys, we'll be right back with the final match. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to get into this final match. TY versus Speed.
Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for TY here.
I'm too bad Speed's gonna win.
But I couldn't blame somebody else if they thought, if they kind of want Speed to take this. Speed's had some highs and some lows in ASL. He was the victim of the Snow Reaver massacre.
That's right.
Absolutely taking, I think, more damage from a Reaver. This isn't so much of, his failure as it was, Snow being so good at his Reaver control. But then he came back the next season looking so good.
Yeah.
Really taking the pain of the loss, the challenges that he had back there, and building himself into being a better player. TY, of course, just an incredible StarCraft 2 player, great StarCraft 2 caster. And it's always cool to see the StarCraft 2 boys show up at StarCraft 1 and, show them what they got.
Well, it's a best of one. Anything could happen here. I think Speed is absolutely playing better than JYJ. I don't think TY is just going to catch him with anything. Speed comes from the mean streets of the ladder TVT, where you got to be prepared for every single thing that can happen, because ladder players only care about points, tasteless. They don't care about getting better.
Yeah, ladder players, you really do have to approach the game a very specific way, where it's like, well, there's some of this bullshit that happens here also. A lot of times, PM players do this. It doesn't make sense, but I got to stop that. So they end up with a very kind of rounded approach to the game, which usually means they're more cheese-proof than most. Anyways, guys, final match of the day. Let's go. Okay, TY here in the bottom right, and Speed here in the bottom left. Final plug of the day, guys. Consider going on Patreon, supporting us. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. And, I know it's a little bit of a hassle. You got to make an account on the site. You got to put in your credit card or...
I expect someone to
Apple
smile
Pay
once they
or
make it through the
whatever,
day.
but,
Nah.
if you choose to support us, it does mean the world to us. So if you need that extra push, here's that moment. Either pick up your
It's
phone,
just gonna be
tap out the
relief. It's
window,
gonna be
get
like-
on your second monitor, whatever it takes.
Patreon is really one of the best ways to support the type of content that you like. No question about that. So thank you, everyone who has supported already, and hope you guys will check it out.
Speed.
Oh, wow. That's such a cool card. My little kid self
They
is
must be
looking
giving
at
those
it.
Who you
like,
want to
"Oh,
win
I
this?
want that."
My
As a
favorite
card
player,
as a child.
like in this
it's funny,
matchup,
but
I
it
want
was just
Speed to
fun.
win.
Magic?
In the entire
no,
ASL,
When I was
Baseball.
I
really
want
young, it was
Queen
baseball
to win.
cards, and then I got into basketball. It became basketball cards. Oh, I had Garbage Pail Kid cards, and then I got.
You
into
can root
Magic
against
cards,
everyone
later on,
except
and,
Queen.
Yeah, I had a bunch of first edition Pokemon cards.
He's in
and
the
stuff.
next group on
I
Saturday.
saved these things.
And it's
Tastes
4
like you could burn
Zergs.
your
Queen,
boats like you went
Calm,
to Korea.
Effort, and it's not
Gave
so much.
the
Someone
title of my
else.
Card of my mother. I said,
Royal?
You can throw away everything I own. I'm never coming back.
Snow. Snow's a
I brought
Protoss player.
just a fucking duffel bag full of clothes.
You can root against Snow, but I love Snow because of his Reaver play. He's just like a one-trick pony, but he's so good at it that nobody can beat him.
Sold at a pawn shop, but like if I had that stuff nowadays, man, it would be worth literally hundreds of thousands of dollars based on my collections and the current values. But because I had some sick collections, it was insane. But that's okay because I got to make this life with you, Tasteless, where I get to cast StarCraft 1 for a
Well,
living.
guys, Artosis' fortune from his childhood is gone. Get on the Patreon now. He needs your support. Okay? He's never going to get that Pokemon card
No, they
money
aren't.
back.
Yeah, those.
I actually,
those are not coming back.
on that note, I was always into like obscure consoles, and I had a Sega Saturn
Yeah.
that my brother and I would play on, and I had a game that I guess is now worth like $10,000, and I
Really?
can't find all the CDs for it. Yeah, it's called Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess they only made a small number of copies in English, which for whatever reason I was able to get my hands on when I was like in, I don't know, freshman year of high school.
Wow.
Really good game. Yeah, and I guess they lost the source code for it, so they can't be remade unless it was from the ground up. But I went back through my mother's storage unit and like went through the whole thing in one of my trips back to America, and only found like 2 of the CDs, and I was like, okay.
Oh, man.
Not that I was going to sell it anyway.
I bet your heart was beating fast when you found 2 CDs. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm like, I've played enough video games. That has to mean the other 2 are somewhere in the storage shed. They were not.
Man. But yeah, okay. So I actually wanted to mention this. TY is such an impressive character. So I want you to put yourself in his shoes for a moment, okay? So the youngest pro gamer ever drafted. Okay, he was 12 years old when he became a pro. That's why his ID was baby. Became a strong pro league player. Moved over to StarCraft 2. Became one of the best players of all time in StarCraft 2. Tons of huge tournament wins. GSL, IM Katowice, like tons of tournament wins. Becomes a professional commentator for the GSL. Is straight up just a handsome and nice guy. Considered the
So I wonder
smartest
you
player
could 72
ever
units in a single
StarCraft
match
2.
before?
Returns to StarCraft 1 with his
Maybe,
own style.
Beezus.
Here, casually playing
Maybe.
for a round of 16 spot in the hardest StarCraft.
I don't know, that's a lot of units, but Reavers can kill a lot.
Yeah.
How do you, Tasteless, how do you become like him? I'm 42. Is it too late for me?
You know, it's funny. Like, when you get to meet a lot of pro gamers, and I guess, you know, now that esports is so big, I mean, whether it's StarCraft or other games, one of the funny things I've found, because we've gotten to meet the best players in the world in all sorts of games, is like, there really isn't an archetype when it comes to the personality. You know? You end up finding out that all sorts of different types of personalities can be pro gamers. There's very social ones, like TY is an example. The entire staff at Soup was so excited to have this guy get a little bit older so he could cast, because he's just a very with it guy when you talk to him. Like, very articulate about the game, socially very attuned. Yeah, I mean, a very sharp guy. And then you can meet other pro gamers like can't make eye contact. You know what I mean? Like, don't seem to have any other skill sets outside of the game, but you really do see every kind of type of person in the pro circuit, which I've always thought was kind of funny. I guess the only exception would be they were all people that were stubborn enough to keep playing the game. They had
Yeah, true.
Okay, look at this. It is, yeah, it's like all these vultures being made. This is such weird build orders, by the way. So TY just made vultures nonstop and went into Wraith with no add-on, just one factory, which is not a build that I've seen. And on the other side, Speed happened to go Armory with 2 factory, no add-on. It's like very strange builds to be running into each other. Both kind of teched out builds, and Speed should have the upper hand here pretty heavily because he got the Armory so fast. These
I don't even get non-Koreans anymore. Like I was saying, there are 2, DeWalt and
yeah, I mean, the fact that
Mihu.
the vultures got in and got some damage already
One's
is a pretty big
Polish,
deal.
I think.
Seemed
DeWalt
like
is
for a
Polish,
second,
and
this is the fight that was
Mihu
happening
is
a little bit ago.
Chinese.
The Marines were still targeting this barracks, and so then the vultures at the bottom of the fight could damage TYs, and the Marines weren't really there for the support because, like we said in the previous game, the
gonna
Marines
lose the barracks,
actually
but he's
deal
rebuilding
damage
one.
faster than the vultures. I think a lot of times people just look at like how much damage does something do, and they don't factor in how fast it attacks. Like a Zealot attacks faster than a Dragoon, so it actually does damage faster.
Yeah, it's
That
the
is over
damage
time.
versus the
And
DPS.
don't forget, there's
Same thing with
damage
the Marine and the
types.
Vulture.
In StarCraft 1, there's damage types.
Right.
Vultures have concussive. Marines have normal, Zealots have normal, and Dragoons have explosive. So this like changes based on what they're fighting, how quickly they're going to deal damage.
Yeah.
Now this little
It's like rock,
token from
paper,
Speed
scissors.
isn't going to do anything. 3 siege tanks holds this easily. He just has to like pull a couple SCVs to put in front if he
Oh, the
really does.
Goliath
But yeah,
got
the double
stuck.
depot is very, very smart from TY. TY's build I'm completely fascinated with, Tasteless. I have never seen this
And I
build.
don't know what the hell.
I play 5 hours of StarCraft a day, man. I have not seen this TVT build from anybody. It's It's a little bit different from things I've seen. Normally, the thing is, what you normally see from this is actually a bunker, and it looks similar. But he's actually diving in now and getting a couple tanks, so this is good. You want to aggressively trade, because your Goliaths just won't scale in these situations. As more tanks come up, you're going to do worse and worse with the Goliaths. So that was a really good trade from Speed. That's exactly
And
what
there's
you
the
needed to
Wraith.
do.
It just made it away.
Yeah, great move there. Too bad TY lost that final tank. His Wraith is still alive. It's going to head back home. We are on 4 factories, and I think we might even be going up to a 5th here, just looking from where that SCV was placed. 4 factories back here as well for Speed.
4 factory Goliath. I can't believe he chose to do this with his life on the line here. That is crazy. No one really uses this build too often. I have seen Speed use it a little bit. Yeah, and he's got to make the full wall, and he's got to pull SCVs. The 4 factory Goliath, like, you got to be really careful, because as you start to hit a good amount of siege tanks, the Goliaths will get smashed. But if you come out at all against this, it will just kill everything you have so quickly. Goliaths are super microable.
I've never seen this before. This looks like a really, really, really old game of, like, StarCraft, you know, before the meta had been figured out. But I've never seen this kind of Goliath rush. It's kind of crazy.
God.
It's almost like a Hydra bust for the Terran.
This is
Like
insane.
they're kind of able to run up and do damage so fast. The one thing that TY has going for him is he's got this ramp where he can pull the SCVs and force the Goliaths to kind of dance on top, and then let the tank roll down a little bit later.
Yeah, TY hasn't seen this build either, because he's playing completely wrong against it. Like, you just you don't come out and poke. It doesn't matter if he kills like an extra depot or something. All you have to do is hit critical mass of tanks. If you get like 5-6 tanks out with siege mode, the game is almost over, because the Goliaths just eventually cannot engage. Even though you feel like you're winning the whole time, it's like they just eventually the tanks crush them super, super hard. So you just need to kind of scale up. And like this game right now, for sure, Speed is winning. Yeah, like you look at these numbers, TY hasn't done that much. He's gotten a little bit SCV kills, and a lot of these tanks are being traded out. But he still doesn't have add-ons. So it's like the Goliaths, like you keep seeing him trade, but he's losing the Goliaths, and well, you don't want to build him anyways. But there's no finishing move here.
Yeah, this is actually kind of scary
so funny.
for
Yeah,
Speed.
I mean, over time, you know, you get 4 or 5
Yeah,
tanks
he's
out there,
getting
especially when siege
mines
mode is ready.
down
The
now.
Goliaths can't do anything, but this is such a funny looking game.
Okay, I think Speed's out, guys. I
have
think
not
TY
casted
makes it
PvP
in.
like this. I mean, this seems like it's a you know, deep water territory.
Yeah.
Like, you got to really know a lot about the matchup to even see this. But you can kind of see the idea of it, at least, even if you're not familiar with it. In that, like, the Goliaths attack very fast. They're very mobile. They're one of the most microable units, by the way, in the game.
Ooh.
Like, when you're fighting ground, you can very quickly stutter step micro them forward. It's why this depot is even out here to begin with. It's like anything to draw the fire away. The vultures stand no chance. The mines can be shot down. The tanks are fairly microable. They're some of the more responsive units in the game. Oh my god, almost lost that whole group there to that mine.
Oof. Yeah, he's diving here once again. Still no siege mode here from TY. And he is actually going into
what?
more
TY
outs.
is
Oh my gosh,
going
yeah,
even
that drop
more
could
with
do a
the
lot of
drops.
damage here. Not sure exactly how many kills he got. But the tanks are going to end up killing these Goliaths, even though he might lose like one more here, I think. We'll see. Yeah, he's definitely...
He's going to try to go for that
the wrong
tank in
one.
the back.
He targeted the wrong one there.
He's mismicroing here.
Oh, that's a big mistake.
Okay, I think TY can win now. I mean, a lot of SCVs were killed in that drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it was.
And he
I'm
doesn't
not
have
sure
the
exactly what
momentum
numbers they
anymore.
were. This
Siege
has been
tanks
a
up.
Crazy hectic game, but you can see just the consistent trading from Speed. It's
6
like
HP.
that is absolutely what you
That's
have to do, and he
crazy.
just keeps making these Goliaths. Now he is switching into siege tanks slowly here, and if he can get kind of a forward position, like maybe on the high ground, I don't think I'd go low ground here, but if he sieges on high ground, he has those Goliaths there, and he already has the scanner. It's like, okay, we might actually have a position here where it can go into a longer macro game.
Would it make any sense to get a second dropship and drop 4 tanks in the mineral line, since it's mostly Goliaths?
I would say probably not, because like 4 tanks is
Okay.
not quite the mass that you're looking for. I think right now as TY, running a few vultures around is okay, but just like building out your siege tank count and making sure that you don't get like contained or anything is really important. That siege is a bit too close. That is a big mistake from TY once again. You can. Here's the thing. This is an obscure build. I've actually used this build a lot of times and I've played against it a lot of times, but TY hasn't been back to StarCraft 1 for that long. And I think because he's a higher level 2, he doesn't hit this build very often. He's just not doing it quite right. He has the right build order, but completely the wrong way to engage. Like he's lost way more tanks than he should have. Like that forward siege was really, really bad there. He just keeps missing the critical mass.
There is nothing quite as stressful as playing against a style you've never played against in a match that counts like this. You know? You put so much prep into what could happen on the map or the way the game could go, and then it turns into a game like this, which is just so weird. Now, it looks like we're going to transition out of this moment, because obviously you can't just be going Goliaths forever. Eventually, there are enough tanks here for TY to kind of be healthy on the map, but he is in a position where he's down in supply.
Well, yeah, there's a huge amount of Goliaths out here. So the Goliaths, like, definitely they count, but they're not as strong as tanks. The tank count is one of the more important things.
How's it going, good sir? We're just watching some StarCraft, the ASL.
It's like, well, the actual engage.
This is the final match of the day. For day 2 of the round of 24, the World Finals of StarCraft.
Okay. He's going to unload these vultures here in the main. Again, any SCV kills you can get are going to be worthwhile. This tank sieged up. These vultures are not in range of that. The dropship's going to be able to loop all the way back here and go into TY's main to be used again. Oh, even another vulture over here. I guess that one is in tank range.
Yeah, he's doing some good harassment here, and he is getting that third base up and
he's got
slowing
6
down,
kills just on that one
down
vulture.
a couple times at least. The third base of
But Yolk, how's your day going, good sir?
got
How
like
are
a
you?
good
Welcome, welcome.
row of tanks kind of going up and zoning out. And
Oh shit! Yamikage!
It looks like he wants to go third out.
Thank you so much for the subscription.
So that kind of makes sense.
Congratulations on your wings, Yamikage.
Yolk, thank you so much for the gift, bro.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I'm trying to.
Hell yeah, brother!
Like,
Thank you.
Speed is ahead, but I'm trying to figure out exactly how ahead he is, because I actually think there's still plenty of potential here.
I really appreciate it, good sir. Thank you so much.
A little bit faster. He's got a good factory count and all that. His siege tank count
Second
is a little
subscription.
bit higher, so that's good. Yeah, it definitely feels like it could go either way still.
Boom!
So he's going to come down.
You deserve it, friend. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, man.
Tank. Almost maybe doing a little bit of scouting here to see
Thank you.
Now,
always
Speed
good
has
to
its
see, you know,
entirely
that
separate army that's out on the
the
map.
effort I put in
They could come in here
is,
and punish this third base. So this is kind
you know,
of a funny
worth
game.
it,
You don't see this
right?
very often in TVTs. They've both gone around each other. And TY's
just
gonna
one of those
scramble to
really
get back.
nice.
He's gonna siege up over here.
Take a
Speed
step back and
pushes.
be like,
Oh, he's got
admire
back.
the
Intercepted here by the siege tank line of TY.
you know,
yeah,
the
and
success
don't forget,
you've had
because
over
he's
the
got these
past
units here, there's
however
also
long,
potential for
right?
him to flank.
Super
if he
nice
brings
to
up
do
the
that.
rest of his units and flanks that group of tanks, he'll kill it very, very quickly. Like, a lot of this is just about army movement and positioning at the moment. And by the way, I do want to point out, we were talking a lot about the StarCraft 2 style TY brings to StarCraft 1. Notice how active this dropship has been. It hasn't stopped moving. It has not stopped moving. His wraiths are all over the place. He's dropped like 4 or 5 times already. Most StarCraft 1 players don't play like that.
Yeah.
That
That's
drops
definitely the
bus when you
StarCraft
see
2
right
element of
Stop
TY.
moving around the map. So TY's going to come down again. This is funny because they both saw each other's armies. They've ended up backing off, and now we've got to push in the natural and all-out dive into the third base here. No, not enough mines to curb the pressing damage here from Speed, who is going to wipe this position, force the command
But
center
he's
to
being
live. It's gonna be an
counterattacked.
SCV massacre before they can get back over there. At the same time, though, Speed doesn't seem to have much of anything. So nearly every SCV is killed, but TY can't really get in here and punish the third. He can't punish the natural, and now Speed's coming in here and hitting TY's second base.
Just a crazy game at the moment. Only a
So
single
back and
Goliath left
forth.
over, so these tanks will get cleaned up by the SCVs and various units coming out of TY's factories. In the meantime, he has like a good little contain going on here.
But that
SCV's
wraith
be pulled as well,
is helping a lot.
so he is going to be able to clean that also. Man, This is just a
So back and
slobber
forth.
knocker.
But TY did lose.
Slobber knocker. I don't know if we can say that in this cast. My word, our toes.
There's not another word in the English language that can describe what this game is. It is in every way a slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
It is.
I like that.
This is a funny situation here because it's been so chaotic the entire time. Goliath pressure, then into these weird games where they're both kind of like basically bypassing each other, spotting each other, running back, kind of engaging, then pushing each other again. I think that with TY's supply count, I should say, down, I think most of that is in SCVs. I could be wrong, but we saw, I want to say, a dozen or maybe even 20 SCVs killed when there was the evacuation from the third base.
It's
Which,
fun.
you know, it doesn't mean TY can't win, but I think that he's able to cruise pretty comfortably.
It's funny that TY's main is mined out quicker. TY is known for making the most workers in StarCraft 2 consistently. He is very much an SCV spammer. So not too surprised to see that. It's a very good skill to have in Terran vs. Terran especially.
Well, SCVs have a unique role in, you know, mid-game and late game, early game too, is that they are used to fight more than other workers are. Like TVT, you have to pull SCVs all the time to fight.
Yes.
They have a lot of HP, so they soak up damage pretty well. They also can repair, which is nice too, and build stuff. So, I mean, they're handy in a lot of ways in the matchup.
He finally went Wraiths.
Double Wraiths take out the single Wraith here, so Speed going to start to chip away at these tanks.
He has nothing that shoots up right now. That's highly annoying.
Speed
Probably
is...
will end up losing like 2 tanks. So that.
He's not even
really,
going to lose
really
it.
painful.
Oh.
The triple SCV got pulled pretty quick, so maybe he can save any more tanks from dying. You got to really go on a lot of repairing going on there. A Vulture runs in from Speed. TY does have +2 on the way, by the way, which is just an unbelievably strong matchup. Upgrade in the matchup, rather.
Another drop over here.
Dude, he never
This tank
stops.
should be just... yeah, he just never... It's so StarCraft 2. You know, StarCraft 2 truly... And I think occasionally people get angry when you say, like, you got to do this more in this StarCraft and this one because people are so protective about whichever one's their favorite. Terran never stops dropping in StarCraft 2. You just, it's like the core feature of the race is that you can pick anything up and medevacs and dive around. But, man, he is keeping Speed busy trying to defend these drops.
Well, finally it is going to be cleared out, so that might end the drops for now. We'll see if TY tries to grab another drop ship. Very cool to see him use.
I love how he just has that. I'm pretty sure that's his barracks up at the top.
As far as supply goes, he's got a 4th base up. Yeah, TY floated his command center, so he does actually have that 4th base up now as well. But if you look at the mini map, you can see the blue starting to kind of surround the red. It's, you know, TVT, you've said a lot of times, Stasis is kind of like Go, where like these map positions and surrounding your opponent is actually one of the strongest things. Stronger in a lot of ways than even expanding.
Yeah, it's all about position and denying access to certain points of the map. Not just expansions, but just, you know, area, places you can push into. Now, because Speed has that spot in the top right, TY senses possible instability down here in the lower center, and it seems like his instinct was right on that. He's going to wipe out the entire platform of tanks. And Speed tries to come down, realizes he can't really get in here in time to sandwich this, and sieges up. And then TY takes advantage of that and actually leapfrogs forward, realizing he can't be hit from the top. So Speed, you know, in a sense, thought he had TY contained, and TY took advantage of that and then advanced forward to really take control of the lower center here.
Very powerful position. If you're sitting there on the high ground, like, not only can you take maybe 6 o'clock, but if your opponent messes up, you might be able to push into the natural. And containments are everything in Terran vs. Terran. Very, very difficult to break out. Now, he does turn around and decides to try to break through these units. In the center of the map, TY has that +2 attack, and Speed does not. So a huge difference there, and you can see him just blow up those tanks in a matter of seconds. Speed is still ahead in supply, but TY has some decent things working for him right now.
So Speed is going to be able to break free coming through the bottom here, but there's a big set of 6 siege tanks up here at the top, and he is forced back immediately. But the Vultures over here, this is handy. It looks like they slipped through the bottom. It's hard to appreciate just how open this map is, despite having like some valleys in some areas. You know, it's not completely like a flat blank plains-like area. there's a lot of ways to slip through. I mean, if you don't have a complete full contain, there's going to be some holes in that.
Take some
defense
vultures
where you
just
can
around
send
the
some vultures through
outside.
and hit stuff.
Now, a few extra wraiths have been made here.
Plus
Speed.
2,
Does have
super
start
important to
at
get
this
plus
point.
2.
And
When
where
Terran
is
has
the
plus
anti-air from
2
TY?
on
Oh,
tanks,
you know what? He lost those Goliaths when busting, I think.
Your
So
tanks
this
kill
is a
their
terrible
tanks in 2
situation
hits,
for
not
TY.
3 hits.
Losing quite a bit. He's got to try to target down those
So,
wraiths, but this push coming in
super
from Speed
important.
is going to be able to hit that little.
It's
fourth
the
base
most
to the
important
south,
upgrade
I
in any
think, and
matchup ever.
That might start to spell the end of this game for TY.
Yeah, I think this is over.
Yeah. This is looking a little scary. TY, after all that fighting to control that, he's now lost that position. And there's an opening
And
here.
there's
I mean,
Wraiths.
the Wraiths can just nibble away at this position. The Goliaths might force him to go up here, but there's always a weakness somewhere. And in the top left, there's a CC starting here. So Speed is starting.
Starting, you mean
stretch out the map.
finished.
By the way, it just seems like in TVT, fourth bases are taken so much later than I'm used to.
Well, this has been a super aggressive game. Like, most games on the ladder, you do see the fourth bases quicker than this. But they have been attacking each other nonstop. Speed choosing that crazy Force Factory Goliath opener.
That was
really
crazy.
kind of threw this game into a weird area where TY has been struggling a bit.
Okay, chipping away at the eBay here. This will get rid of the spotter. Very annoying for TY to deal with. He'll have to rely more and more on scans here to spot for his own tanks.
Tanks can
I
shoot
thought
farther
that
than they
fourth
can
base
see.
Might be denied.
They can
By the way,
see
when I said
12,
fourth
they
base,
can
I actually
shoot
meant, I'm sorry, I
13.
meant fifth base. They've been on 4 bases for a while. The top left base is the fifth base here for this. But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy action-packed here. The vultures denied. Could he inadvertently end up pushing those vultures into checking the main in the top left? Actually, seeing SCVs here might be the big tell.
Yeah, he knows now. He turns around and makes a beeline for it, hoping to catch more SCVs. Won't catch that many, but at least he has a good idea that that's there. The Wraiths continue to gain a ton of value here for Speed. TY having a hard time keeping the correct unit composition around the map.
Mm-hmm.
Such a fantastic game with these two guys. I'm so glad
Really
this is so
good.
close here. Oh, what is happening?
Yeah.
Why is there a
That
science
science
vessel?
No idea on that one.
I was like, could he EMP something in there? Why? Why would he do that? So he's got to send that back. Very weird to see the rally on that. Will the Wraiths actually get a punish on this? You know, science vessels are very, very brittle units. It's probably
Oh,
really sad
man,
the
you
Wraiths
lost
just pulled
it.
a kill on that.
I don't even know why you had a fucking science
normally
vessel. What the fuck is it gonna
in this
do?
phase of the game
EMP
to devade
Wraiths?
a tank or a vulture to push
To
into
get
a
rid of their
position. But later
cloak?
on, it can be used to EMP the battle cruisers for the enemy side if you get into a game like that. And a lot of times when
I was saying that earlier,
battle cruisers
guys.
will win the game.
That is super true. Like science vessels, I think, are actually undervalued in TVT, like massively undervalued. And I think over time, like
Well,
in the next
defense
few years,
matrix
we're
can
gonna see
actually be
utilized
really,
even more.
really good.
Just
Now that I
such a
think
useful
about it,
unit.
defense matrix
Now,
is extra
science
150 health
facility
on
will
any
end up
unit.
falling there for Speed,
You
so
put
it's kind
defense
of nice to
matrix
pick
up,
off
run
as
into
TY
the front
moves across the
line,
map.
siege up,
You know,
boom.
Speed definitely has a better position.
And it
He
lasts
has that
like
additional base
a
as
minute and a
well.
half.
But TY pushing up diagonally like this, that's a strong spot he's in. But he needs to collapse
But
to
it
the south.
costs
I
a
think.
lot of
Like,
money.
he's got Speed defending top left.
You can get 2 of them,
but
you can
when
do
Speed
4.
moves a bunch of units up
You
there,
saved it
just
all up.
suddenly move down to the south and clear a lot. Not necessarily that group, but like he can move down, clear center, move left, and you can just kind of force Speed to keep on repositioning his units.
Vulture's going to come in here. A lot of SCV is going to be killed off. In fact, he can just snipe that Goliath. Yeah, just turn and shoot that thing. Don't respect that. And you know, with TY taking the top right, you know, it's turning into one of those TVTs where we're seeing that map get cut from top to bottom with a 12 o'clock and a 6 o'clock base that are both. It's kind of up in the air. Who's going to take it?
Well, I think right now Speed killing SCVs this many times has really put himself into a big advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
TY has
might be
taken
right.
back a lot of the center, which is really good. But yeah, look at this. Now suddenly he has like 10 wraiths. That's crazy, man. Oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
I
he
love the
is-
Wraiths. He's just wiping out these tanks so fast. By the way, You really got to appreciate how low the damage is on Wraiths, where you see that many Wraiths, and it's just so many shots to kill one tank. Blizzard was clearly very concerned about this unit when they designed it. It's like, okay, get close,
boom,
but it can't
killed
do
the
that
tank.
much damage. It might be too strong.
And then they made the Banshee for StarCraft 2. What were they thinking?
Yeah, they pulled a 180 on that.
But yeah, the Wraiths are so good in these types of scenarios. These really chaotic, hectic games where no one has their.
At least they
really
gave
going,
them a
Wraiths
ground
become
attack.
Really, really good. Because the thing is, if you're just like maxing out and you have a ton of factories and a ton of bases, you have money for missile turrets. You're mixing in more Goliaths, and suddenly the Wraiths become super weak and not a good choice. But in this type of situation, you can see he's just consistently flying around and punishing these little areas where TY is just barely off of what he needs.
More CCs coming down. TY's position is still decent, but the position doesn't really matter if he can't back it with an engine that's going to produce like what Speeds can. You know, the Wraiths were chased back, but enough tanks were killed. It seems like Speed can look for an opening. And, you know, this happens a lot in Brood War games where sometimes it's the old spots and not the new ones you want to hit because they're so busy trying to defend these new locations and gain territory that suddenly it's back at home where they're really weak.
Well, he does do this little attack as a lot of TY's units are in the wrong place. A couple Vulture run in, so TY's still doing a good job with this harassment. He's expanding all up the top right of the map right now, but his supply is very, very low, and Speed has really taken over this game.
I mean, Speed's looking fantastic. I think, you know, it's really smart that he did that Goliath opening early on that TY just sort of didn't know how to deal with, right? Don't let TY play a game he can plan out. He's such a good planner. Bring the chaos in there. Then again, you know, TY held the game pretty well, but here we are in this late game, and it seems like TY is going to have to try to make something work with this army he has. There's that D-Matrix on the tank to basically allow you to push through there.
And he's just going to GG.
He's not going to get anything done with that. Speed
oh my god.
Survives. He's going to be our
Hell yeah, let's go. I feel like they usually get it right who's going to win in the first 5 minutes of the match. That's just because at this stage of the game, Bees, we just know who are the better players statistically.
I think I initially said that.
That's why I was like, it's probably going to be Bisu and Speed. Bisu out first, Speed out second.
And then Speed playing some close, excellent games here. Definitely a very.
But Speed is the odd one out here.
Showed a lot of skills. He's going to have to add to his repertoire how to deal with that crazy heavy Goliath play, because that's really where he messed up. Like Speed, I mean, kudos to Speed. He decided to do something highly aggressive.
Fucking crazy.
And he traded over and over really well. But yeah, if TY had played against that before, you can tell he just hasn't played against that, because he would have probably ended up winning the game, I think. It's just, there's a reason why you never see that build. It's kind of a ladder build that you can catch people with sometimes, especially if they haven't played against it before.
So looks like we're going to catch the tail end of this game that we saw over here. There was, you know, probably 20 moments you could put into this highlight reel.
For sure.
But the one that the observer chose was the point where the mass Wraiths had, you know, really come in here and hit, because it was neck and neck. I mean, Speed definitely had a supply lead, but once the Wraiths came in here and basically wiped the tanks out, it softened the whole position on the map up. And then, you know, it's up to Speed to kind of pick and choose where he's going to hit and do so efficiently.
Well, yeah, I'm not really sure why they chose this moment, but you can see the SCV.
I actually thought the Wraiths were going to hit by now. They never came. I don't know why they picked this moment either.
Yeah. TY, you know, like, you can see just how talented this guy is. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's funny because, like you said, a ton of different moments could be shown here. I guess, yeah, killing these SCVs was really good, but Speed already had top left mining, so...
Yeah. You watch, they're going to let this replay play all the way to the end. We're just going to watch this entire game happen here.
Like, oh, today was too fast, guys. Like, here, let's rewatch half of TVT.
Yo, see, Ito, what you doing also? Is there any reading?
The observer messed up. I think he...
Probably for a bit. It's going to be an early day today. I'm fucking... Wow, I'm out of it.
We are going to go...
Feeling gross.
Into an interview now.
And that does it for all the matches on the second day.
But
of
I don't
the
think
round
Callie's
24 of
here
ASL
yet.
Season 20, as we have our second player through to the round of 16. It's Speed. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
I just don't want to get
Tribulations
sick
all
from
around,
reading.
But as the decider match concludes, Speed succeeds in advancing to the round of 16. How do you feel? I've been feeling anxious ever since that first game. I found myself at a disadvantage in the early game. I thought I had a good follow-up, but ended up losing. I thought I might get knocked out today.
It's one thing
But
to work all day, it's another thing to run around with
you
kids
seem
all
like the
day.
weight has been lifted. Is the stress gone? Is that it?
Sick from reading the absolute awesome anime that'll change the world for the
I
better?
was ahead, and I started stressing out again. My hands were shaking as I finished the game.
No, this is
There's
my
a
friend
chance I
from
could
out
have
of
lost.
town is over, so I've been over at my sister's house with her kids,
The loss in the
hanging
first
out
game
with
was
them.
regrettable, but in the
So,
second game, the 4-factory build you prepared landed home.
You know,
when were you sure
finishing
you
off the
had
end
won
of the
losing?
summer there, because they're going
I
back to
was
school
fully aware
soon.
of how aggressive
So they're
JYJ
super
is.
excited to have
So
me
this was a
around and
build
hanging
I
out.
had prepared.
But it's tiring me the
Whenever I
fuck
stopped
out and then having a
first
couple
rush,
beers
when
after that after the
vultures
kids
came
went to bed
alongside
and playing some
tanks, I
Catan.
knew I was quite far ahead.
Oh man,
So that's when Steve decided
definitely
he was
this
ahead,
week has
it
been.
seemed. And so with your wins today, you are now on a 6-win streak against
And then the
Turkey. I wonder how you
ASL
feel about
fucking
this. I
comes
wonder how
out.
you feel about being
What's
the
going
third
on here, guys? Fuck.
Honestly, when I
You're
saw
trying
this
to kill
group
me
draw,
by
I was very
overwhelming
satisfied
me.
with it because I can't play versus Zerg, and somehow, some way, my TVT got really good, so I was feeling confident. It's a good result that I got today. I'm sure it would be nice to see Speed play more TVT after today. And in the decider match, it was a 2-fact Goliath build you showed. I know this is not a build you use a lot day to day. Did you use this build because you
I
thought
don't
it would be
recommend you
profitable?
to read
What
a
was the
script, but you
motivation
know,
behind
don't
using
want to
this
make
build?
you sick, you know.
Well, firstly, I played 4-fact
Well, I probably am gonna read, just not for a long time. Like, I'll probably stream for like 3.5 hours, like another hour or so.
I was right. But my stubbornness.
But if I read for like
You shouldn't push
2
like that.
hours
But
or
for
so, I
some
might
reason
get
I thought it would
and then
work.
start to write, and it's
TY
like,
kept defending, I
ugh.
thought I was going to lose that.
But it's also because like the more
That's
silver
the
I come
thing
down,
about
the more
side
I
match.
sit,
You guys
like
kept throwing
gross I
attacks at
feel,
each other.
right?
It was so back and forth. What do you think was
It's the problem with
deciding factor
drinking.
in the end?
You can drop it in. You can drop it in the chat. I'll pull it
We
up.
have an identical play style. It was just to hell it if I lose. I'm just going to keep.
Also, they have a
punching.
cat named
And
Liam, and he
amidst
also
that, I
scratched me,
emerged
the
victorious.
fucker.
Good coping skills, I guess. I'm sure it made all the viewers ever so excited to see this. What do you want to show in the round of 16?
But he's usually pretty good,
The
and like,
furthest,
you can't even
I
tell
got
that
is
he
the round
really
of
even
16. I'd like to
scratched
play
this
an
part of my
extended
hand, but
series,
a couple
so
places
I'll
he
set
got me.
round of 8 as
Got
my
me
goal.
in a couple places.
Many people showed
Also,
up to the studio to
Liam,
cheer
my
for you today, and
Liam,
many
how
are
could
also
ya?
supporting you online. Do you have anything to say to them? My wife always helps me so that I can play my games well. I want to express my gratitude. My practice was straightforward. I'd like to thank Ample, Royal, and Paralyze.
Paralyze!
And that does
Hell
it for
yeah.
our interview with Speed, who makes it into the round of 16. Congratulations once more, and thanks for the interview.
Well, there you have it, guys. another day of ASL. Great games, man. I know we had that really short one at the start.
Yeah, really short at the
I
start, but it was a really
appreciate.
fun game too. TY just
Bisu
dominated.
coming out looking so strong. I almost forgot he was in the group. He got out of this so quickly.
You're styling.
He really did. Great showing by Bisu. You know, the only person I was actually disappointed in today was JYJ. I don't think JYJ played well at all.
Yeah.
He made a huge mistake of not confirming what TY was doing in game one, and then he attacked for no reason with the tank in game two. So, unfortunate for him. Our next group, Mini, Saber, Soma.
No, I got it.
That's a good group.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
I think Mini gets out of that group.
Oh, yeah. And Soma as well. Soma is in
I'm so excited for Soma.
Yeah. And Sock, I mean, maybe. Saber.
Saber's
Soma,
new though.
like,
Soma's
Thor
coming back from the
actually, it was
military.
like a week or two ago, it was like great, just domination. Like Soma is in unbelievable shape.
Okay,
He's
it's good to
fresh
hear
out of
that.
the military, but he was practicing like crazy during that time as well.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't
yeah, I
earn
think
any
Mini
money when
Soma
you're in the
just have
military,
clear
so you can't
for this
play professionally. So you can't really
Very exciting
keep
group.
up
And we're gonna have that out
because you
to
can't
if you're
play
watching
on that
it'll be
level.
out, like, whenever if you found this VOD, right away when we put it online, it's gonna be out around the same time.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't miss a beat with the VODs
Hell yeah.
being out. I don't think it's gonna happen again, or won't happen this time. I'm trying to say we're gonna get them out quickly. I can't talk.
Damn it,
Anyways,
Tasteless.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Group C. Artosis, any closing thoughts?
Oh, great groups. Loving the season so far. Great
Fuck
games
yeah.
all over the place, and can't wait for tomorrow.
Love you guys. Please support our Patreon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
True. Alright, so what do you want me to read here, Rick? This is the biggest problem, is you give me so much shit, I don't know what the fuck you want me to read. I just want to read a story, bro. I don't want to read all of this. Ton of the top league players are actually exempt from military duty. Is there no one in SC like that? They usually it can only be exempt for a while, Beezus. So, like, you can do, like, a 5 to 10 year thing where, like, you'll just go into the military after you've done that. So most of the esports, like, they've put their exempt from it for, like, 5 to 7 to 8 years. But they will eventually, once they can no longer prove that league players actually don't have to ever do it because of the World Cup they play in. Really? I didn't know that, Beezus. I know there are some things that can make you exempt, but I didn't think you could get it from that. See, I don't know. Find a story that I can read, Rick. You know? Same thing for Olympic people in Korea being exempt. That makes sense. It's just, Rick, I don't know what to read. I don't know what's important, what's not important. So it's like I said, just take a random tab and give me that tab. Okay. We still gotta read the end watch for Beezus. This is the big fucking moment we've all been waiting for. And it's been like a week and we haven't read anything. I swear to God, I got a fucking mosquito bite on the inside of my fucking ear. Some fucking bullshit. Got here. Just need to wait for Callie to show up so we can go into the nightmare. Just realized that's the old version of that act. I rewrote it about a day or so ago. You want me to refresh it then, Beezus? Yeah, it sounds like a plan there, Rick. Yeah, this was like 2 or 3 days ago. I think this was the drunk day, I'm not quite sure. It's here somewhere. Oh no, it's not. I'm retarded. It's on... I'm so fucking retarded. Because everything's always everywhere with everything, right? It's on Royal Road. Wait, what? Oh, it did like way more. Oh, it's because I did Control All. That doesn't work on here. Oops. Okay, that didn't work. Why didn't this work? There we go. Okay, the end watch. Here we go. Too many days in a row with an hour or two sleep. This is the first day I've not passed out midstream, so I'm not sure. Yep, that's pretty much how it goes, Beezus. I'm so glad we're gonna actually be able to get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and not just 2 or 3 hours of sleep. It's a big difference. Okay, guys, let's do this. Act 10, The End Watch. Setting, outskirts of Haven's End. Date, sometime in May 1995. Grant paces in front of the scattered group, most of them too absorbed in compelling menial tasks to give him their full attention. Grant, let's make one thing clear. This isn't about revenge. This is a hunt. Grant stops pacing. Grant, but we're not hunting prey, we're hunting a predator. And the only way we can do that is by remembering that our strength comes from numbers. We can't afford to run in with a head full of steam. Because if you break formation, we all end up just as dead as the people he took from us. Grant falls silent, letting the weight of his words hang in the air. Grant, he's managed to not only find us at our weakest, but avoid us whenever we're at our strongest. So we can only assume that he has some sort of trap waiting for us in his territory. Grant looks over at Alex and John, showing no signs of remorse in his expression for forcing them into this. Grant, new blood. Now is the time to speak up if you have something to say. John takes a step forward, meeting Grant's cool gaze with his own. John, Kurt. I'm John and he's Alex. We're the hostages you'll be dragging along for this mission. Alex recognized the woman as part of the original group that had greeted them from the camp, but she ditched the salvaged armor in favor of a more casual look. She's wearing a pair of distressed jeans ripped at the knees, but it didn't feel like a stylistic choice, instead looking like what you'd expect from months of long-term use. The faded red bandana that she'd used to tie up her hair was now wrapped around her wrist, leaving her long black hair to dangle down the length of her back. A bolt-action rifle was slung over her shoulder, engraved with R+I, dangerous woman. I hope your bad attitude doesn't mean you plan on disobeying orders. She takes a step toward Alex and John, smirking as she stares at them both down. Grant, the girl that's giving you boys dirty looks is also our best shot. Her name is Red, and you'd better do well to remember that, because it's the first thing you'll be screaming whenever you see something moving that shouldn't be. Be right back, Sir Ito. Sounds good, Rick. She walks over to a barrel sitting in the center of the group. Without warning, she slammed her foot into it, sending it toppling to the ground. Isabella, you haven't earned the right to call me Red. So as far as you're both concerned, my name is Isabella. She sits down on the overturned barrel, laying her rifle across her lap. Isabella. I only have 2 rules. Don't hesitate down here. Don't hesitate. Down here, a second's usually the difference between life and death. She starts a full inspection of her rifle, making it crystal clear that she doesn't believe they deserve her full attention. And don't make me waste my bullets. And if you're lucky, you won't have to worry about the punishments for breaking those rules. She trails off, leaving the rest of their imagination. Grant seems satisfied enough with her introduction. Turns around, gesturing to a wiry man, trying to hide within the shadows from view. Grant. Anything you want to say before we start, Elliot? Elliot, wearing a tattered army jacket, was 2 sizes too large for his small frame. Shoulders droop, making him appear to shrink even smaller somehow. He had narrow bird-like features that were currently focused on one of the ceiling panels above, his eyelids wide as if he expected danger to drop down at him at any point. Grant. This right here is our tracker, Elliot. He knows these parts well and never forgets a path once he's walked it. That not only makes him the most important member of this party. Grant walks over, patting Elliot on the shoulder, causing the smaller man to jerk in surprise, even though his eyes remain fixed on the ceiling. Grant. It also means he's the one man capable of returning you both to that girl in one piece. John's grimace deepens even further as Grant's insinuation, but he stays silent. Tyler! Hey, how's it going, Tyler? Welcome, welcome. How are you? Good, sir? How was your day today? Are you streaming right now? Elliot continues to remain oblivious to Grant's presence. It almost seems like he's purposefully ignoring him. After a close to a minute of silence from him, he finally responds. Finally got medically cleared, so first day back to work. Sore as shit. Oh, nice, Tyler. Congratulations. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, no, going back, doing the shit the first month or so was brutal. Getting back into the groove of everything. Elliot stammering. I still think this is a mistake, Grant. Ah, I got him that time. Motherfucker dead now. He's dead now! Only 50 million more to go. His face finally pulls away from the ceiling as he meets Grant's gaze with a sideways glance. Elliot. He's always been prepared before, hasn't he? Don't you think it's too convenient that all this information fell in our laps like this? A violent tremor ripped through Elliot's body, making him fall silent for a few more seconds. Just fruit flies. There's like 3 of them in here. Tis what it is. He's been bugging me for a while, but I'm pretty sure there's only one around here. By the end of the day, they'll all wind up in the bottom of my orange juice anyways. What if he's just trying to lure us in like he did to me? To you? Elliot doesn't answer right away, his eyes darting back to the safety of the camp. Yes, Elliot's fingers trace at the hem of his sleeve, rustling loose strands of fabric from the poor stitching. Trail of blood. Elliot turns to John, eyes wide. That's how he tricked me. Elliot's voice wavers, barely above a whisper now. The rest of the members were forced to lean in if they wanted to hear the rest of his story. Elliot. There's so much blood. I thought I was tracking a corpse. But when I got to the end of the trail, he was just standing there like he was waiting for someone to find him. A hush falls over the circle. Alex looks over, noticing Isabella. Fuck! God damn it. Make a bottle trap, cut off the top third of a bottle, turn it upside down, and stick it into the bottle like a funnel, and tape it closed, and put something sweet for bait in the bottle. Flies are idiots, they can get in, but won't figure out how to get out. Yeah, but there's only like 3 of them, Tyler. I had my door open, so, I don't know. There's like bananas and shit downstairs, so... Oh, hey, here's another one. Nah, you got away. Motherfucker. Thought our AC was borked because a lot of water on the floor last time we used it. Cleaned the whole bloody thing and let it thaw and dry fully. Been running for a quarter hour or more without flooding. So far, so good. Damn, Sean. Famous last words. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I'm checking every 5 minutes or so. Have it on top of a tote lid to catch at least a little water before overflowing. Makes sense, makes sense. Better safe than sorry. A hush falls over the circle. Alex looks over, noticing Isabella has also leaned closer, though the scowl on her face deepened at the sight of Elliot's skittish movements. I think, therefore, I don't eat spam. Alright, sounds about right, Sean. Elliot, he almost looked bored, that is, until he finally noticed me. Elliot's voice breaks once again, eliciting a groan from Isabella. He shot to his feet and just turned his back to me. He didn't even care that I was standing behind him with a weapon. Elliot twists his hands nervously together, his voice cracking around the edges as he continues. He started setting up a camera, placing it in different lighting, different elevations. It was like he was setting up a movie set. But when he finally finished, Elliot's fingers drummed faster on his kneecaps, body swaying from side to side in a desperate attempt to coax the fear out of him. It didn't matter that he was unarmed, because he never gave me the chance to use my weapon. God forbid I ever go to Hawaii and say that line, probably wake up dead. I mean, sometimes you just have to wake up dead. It's like my dad says, you ever break your neck, don't come running to me. His breathing quickened as if it were in that moment. It takes him a few seconds to finally calm down enough to finish the story. Elliot. Every swing, every move, he dodged them all. It was like he knew what I was planning on doing before even I did. Interlude. Elliot. Setting. Unknown. Date. Anywhere from 1 to 3 years in the past. Elliot, voice breaking. I don't want to die. Figure wearing a bloody hazmat suit towers over Elliot's battered body. The yellow suit was torn in various places, caked in a thick layer of dried black substance. Famous mom saying when you're spurting blood over the living room, I hope you're satisfied. Yup. A large X ran through the ARC symbol with purposeful slashes. Their face was hidden behind a glossy black visor that reflected Elliot's terrified face back to him. Every breath they took was filtered through a layer of garbled static, making it hard to tell if it was actually a human hiding inside of it. Hazmat Killer distorted. So this was truly all you were capable of. Hazmat Killer stomps down Elliot's wrist, crushing it underfoot. Elliot lets out a strangled cry, the machete in his hand clattering across the carpet. He leans down, picking it up before Elliot has a chance to grab it again. Hazmat Killer. Even this world is full of cowards. So much for the thrill they promised me. Hazmat Killer raises the machete over his head, preparing to bring it down on Elliot. Elliot, wait, I'll do anything you want. Elliot grabs at Hazmat Killer's feet, wrapping himself around them as he sobs violently. He doesn't even think about trying to crawl away anymore because crying had sapped the last of his energy. Hazmat Killer, disgusting. Hazmat Killer drops the machete on the floor and kicks Elliot off him. Elliot glances over at the discarded weapon but makes no attempt to reach for it. Hazmat Killer, you don't love life, you're just clinging to it because you fear death. Elliot managed to will himself up to his hands and knees. No, I love being alive. Hazmat Killer kicks him down to his stomach with a heavy boot in his ribs. I don't believe you. The blunt force from the kick knocked the wind out of Elliot, removing his ability to form complete sentences. Hazmat Killer, but I'm willing to give you a chance to prove me wrong. Hazmat Killer crouches over Elliot, grabbing a handful of hair in a gloved fist and yanking Elliot's face inches away from his visor. Hazmat Killer, all you have to do is show me your smile. Act 10, End Watch, present day. Outskirts of Haven. Tense moment passes through the group following Elliot's story. Elliot's gaze is focused on Grant, a sparkle of hope in his eyes as Grant walks up to him. Grant, I think it's time you learn to smile then, boy. Grant pats Elliot on the shoulder with a heavy hand. Grant, 'cause the day of your reunion is nigh. Elliot's eyes darken as he casts his gaze back to the ground. Grant chuckles for a brief moment before returning to his position in front of the group. Grant, those instructions were longer than I wanted them to be. Let's make that the last of them. Grant shoots a dirty look at a figure leaning against a pillar. They grumble in response, eliciting a smirk from Grant. Alex, what about him? Alex points towards a man whose back is against a pillar, busy sorting through his equipment, a muscular man who was the last member of the group that first greeted them. He had the same scar running down his cheek, along with the cool expression that seemed to show no signs of his mood. His cargo pants had seen their fair share of battles, long gashes lined the legs, patched together by random assortments of fabric. His whole outfit was cargo. The colorful stripes tacked onto his outfit made him look more like a well-hidden peacock. There was a brown utility belt strapped around his waist that held a battered canteen, a sheathed hunting knife with a white fabric wrapped around its hilt, and a few dangerously sharp tools that Alex couldn't identify. He's holding a second hunting knife now, slowly dragging it across the surface of a darkened brick. Grant, it sounds like they want a few words from you. Malcolm, you have anything you want to say to the new blood? Malcolm works his blade with practiced, unbothered motions, letting the scrape of metal speak for him. Malcolm, stay quiet and don't touch what's mine. Malcolm never bothered to look up at them, which made Alex shift uncomfortably. This doesn't feel like a welcome party. If anything, it feels like an unwelcome one. I left a turd in the corner of your bedroom. Fuck, Blessed! God damn it, you're such a bastard. I'm not polishing this one, okay? Fuck you. Woman's voice. Don't let that jerk ruin your moods. The figure from behind the pillars steps out. It's a woman whose posture radiates a high level of self-confidence, with red hair pulled into a loose ponytail that left small strands to fall free across her freckled face. Her brown satchel was wound tightly across her waist, and Alex caught a glimpse of a rusty crowbar peeking out the edges of it. Grant. Blasted LMAO. A glimpse of a rusty crowbar peeking out from the edges of it. Grant, what do you think you're doing? I told you we didn't have time for more introductions. Woman stops in front of Grant, pursing her lips. It's been there for 2 years. It's petrified. Oh, God. Woman, what else am I supposed to do when the group's doing everything they can to make them run screaming? Grant sighs, shaking his head. Grant, fine. Grant turns his attention back to Alex and Jones, John watching the woman approach them with a furrowed brow. Grant, and this pain in my ass is Nora. He gestures, making no attempts to hide the annoyance in his voice. Nora just grins back at him, clearly used to his barbs. Isabel. She's the child of our group, so make sure not to drop loose change around her. Nora shoots Isabella a mock glare. Child and medic of the group, she corrects Isabella. Nora, it's honestly refreshing to see two people with a bit of life in them. Did you guys fall down here recently? John. Probably. We're not really sure how long it's been, though. Nora laughs, leaning in to inspect each of them in an uncomfortably close distance. Grant dry. We don't have time to waste on small talk, girly. Nora rolls her eyes. Fine. Smile on her face melts, and for the first time, her expression is serious. Nora. You can probably tell, but I'm a sucker for trusting people. I have no doubts that I could trust my back to the both of you. I hope you won't make me come to regret it. Grant, low. Trust's not a word you should throw around lightly. Even I don't trust everyone I keep close. He lets his words settle, his gaze lingering on the newcomers now. Nora, gentle, firm. And how am I supposed to make friends if I can't trust anyone? Grant's expression softens. He puts a gentle yet firm hand on Nora's shoulder. You can give people whatever label you want without involving blind trust. Nora. The difference between us is that you think friend is just a label you put on people. Grant squeezes her shoulder gently, trying to will her into his understanding him. Grant, I'm worried about you. You're always trusting your back to strangers, and if I'm not careful, one day I'm gonna find you with a knife lodged between your shoulder blades. Nora. That's the cost of making friends down here. Nora steps out of his reach, a half smile returning to her face. Nora. Then I'll die with a smile on my face. Tension between the two of them hangs in the air. Alex steps forward, saying words he's not sure is meant he means. Alex, you can trust me. Grant looks at Alex, his gaze hardening. Alex shifts uncomfortably, rubbing the back of his neck. Remember, guys, you cannot trust me with anything. Never fucking trust me. Okay? Trust me. Rubbing the back of his neck. Alex, just don't expect me to do more than scream and cry when something shows up. Nora chuckles, turning back to face him. Nora, smirking. Don't worry, I didn't expect more from you anyways. She lets the words hang in the air, her smirk fading as she studies Alex more intensely than before. Excuse me, just like before, she was searching for something, but Alex had no idea what it could be. Nora, alright. I'll kill the last thing now. I may be a medic, but for your sake, I hope you figure out how good I am at my job. Nora. I can deal with bruises or a sprained ankle, but I'm not a miracle worker, so please don't get hurt. Voice is so soft and full of sadness that Alex expects her to burst into tears at any moment. Yet they never come. Instead, she shakes her head, trying to remove the thoughts from her head. Once she settles back down, her face was wearing her familiar smile again. Nora. Alright. Done enough depressing speeches for one trip. I give you permission to speak again. She steps away, gesturing for Grant to take her place. He scowls in response before stepping forward to address the group again. Grant. Alright, we should be more than ready to head out now. Grant motions for Elliot, who quickly nods and joins his side. Grant. How long did it take you to reach here? Grant pulls the map from before out of his pocket and points at a red marking. Elliot studies it for a brief second before nodding. Elliot. Might have taken me a day or so, but it's different. It's different when it's a full group. Grant nods, stuffing the map back into his pocket. Grant. That's good enough. Now lead the way. The group finishes up packing the remaining pieces of their supplies, and then the first steps of the journey begin. Grant and Elliot lead the party, furiously whispering between each other as they point between the different pathways. A few steps behind them, Malcolm trudges along without looking up. His full attention remained on his knife. Beyond the few moments, he looked over his shoulder to scan the back ranks. There's a large gap between him and the next set of people, where Isabella and Nora walk side by side. Nora pokes, prods, and whispers in her ear in ways that would drive most crazy. But Isabella seems to have experience, treating her like a mother would their child as she continues with her duties. Her eyes constantly scan the group's surroundings, while her hand never strays farther than a few inches from her rifle. Alex and John take their spots at the group's rear. Alex casts one last look at the receding light from the campfire, hoping he can catch one last glimpse of Lily, because it might be the last one he ever has. Once the last of the camp disappears from view around the first corner, he forces himself to look forward. He can feel his pounding heart now, racing from the fear of what he's left behind and what lies ahead in wait. You could never know what's coming in a place like this. It shouldn't be possible for a place like this to exist, yet it did. He'd been traveling this place for so long, scared out of his mind, making it feel like it was trapped in the middle of a dangerous hunting ground. But at least he wasn't helpless anymore. He was surrounded by people who knew something about this place, all with guns meant to protect him. Yet Alex couldn't help but wonder, were they truly the hunters now, or were they just dangerous prey? Ooh, Beezus, I like that. I like that. So, Rick, are you here, or shall we read another chapter of Choke if you're here, Tyler? I don't see another post from Rick. Well, I don't know, guys. If neither Rick nor Tyler are here, I don't know what to do. Because the plan was to read and fuck off. And if they're not here, then I guess we just read the next chapter of this, right? Frost in the Flame. And then we can call it after that. Come back stronger tomorrow. I'm starting to get a fucking headache now. The Abandoned Temple of the Great Spirit Chaos, Part 2. And what is this one? Yeah. All right. I guess I can just put this one in here either way, right? I can just put this one as Choke, just so we have it. I believe we're on chapter 9. Which is super short, so we'll just do 9 and 10, because they're both super short. Whoops. chapter 10 is. There we go. So that's all nice and set up. And this is... Perfect. Okay, let's do this. Bakjo-san, Year of the Tiger, 19th winter. The winter sun barely dared peek through the clouds, pale and solitary, as if even it feared what the night might bring. The stone steps creaked beneath black boots. The fabric of his hanbok, a deep near black blue, billowed like dark smoke in the freezing breeze. Court of ice, as never before, opened to the young king descending the stairway from his pavilion, flanked by Eunuch Zhang and Seo Jisoo. The ministers were there, all of them, lined up side by side, cloaked in thick layers and feigned solemnity. Some murmured behind their fans, others avoided the king's eyes. An invisible line stood between the monarch and his court. Because this was, after all, the first time the cursed child had left the heart of the palace of white ash, for the sake of a lesser prince. Yi Huan, the king with a heart of steel, had broken through his own walls, and that meant more than one thing. An omen of misfortune, a sign of tragedy. The winter will strengthen and stretch beyond the borders of Bakjo-san. The words never rose above a whisper, yet they slithered like blades across the frozen courtyard, the gardens and the inner halls. Yi Huan heard them, all of them, and said nothing. It was a silence he had learned to wear like armor. His mother, absent from the crowd, had taught him the power of apathy, and his grandfather, the court counselor Yoon, likewise missing, had trained him to stand firm like a tree against the wind. Seo Jisoo walked a step behind, eyes fixed on the snow-blurred horizon. Beneath his sleeve, his hand tightened around the hilt of a thinking sword that was not his own. Yi Huan stopped just before the final step. Eunuch Zhang waited beside him, his face bent with genuine anxiety. The king looked at him briefly, and in his voice a faint crack appeared. "Go to Lady Yoon. You'll find her speaking to the great spirits, though I forbade it," he said quietly. "Bring her to Consort Hyoen. She has not come." The eunuch bowed low. "Tell her not to dress in mourning," Yi Huan added, his words hanging in the snow-heavy air. "Tell her I will bring Yi Suk back. That is certain." Shiver passed down the old eunuch's back, but he nodded, turned, and walked off to fulfill the king's command. The snow continued to fall, slow and quiet, as if trying to erase the prince's footprints. Atop the stairway, the ministers watched. None dared stop him. None dared bless him. Just as they had done when Yi Huan rode north years before, though that time the young king had worn a mask of frost. Because even if their lips remained silent, their hearts screamed one shared certainty: the tragedy had already begun. Yi Huan nodded faintly, not turning back. Now the cold no longer came from the eternal winter alone. It emanated from him. Jisoo noticed it. This cold was not the same as in childhood, not the chill that stiffened smooth skin or stifled laughter from fear. This cold ran deeper. It was darker, as if the power of the white eye had finally begun to root itself into the king's soul. And together, they vanished into the snowstorm, leaving behind whispers clinging to the walls and the watchful stares of the court. The snow swallowed them whole without ceremony. Elsewhere in the palace, where lamplight flickered and died, Eunuch Zhang deviated from his usual path. He walked with care toward the hall where in ancient days the great spirits had appeared before kings. The prince's words echoed in his mind like a funerary bell. The mother of Yi Seok had not emerged from her quarter since morning. Perhaps a promise would be enough to keep her sane, or at least prepare her heart. The eastern gate of Siohan opened with a groan, tearing through the frost that had caked between its hinges. No blessings were offered for the journey. No lantern was lit to guide their path beyond the snow. Only the wind, sharp as suspicion, followed them with eerie devotion, and far beyond them a shadow moved unseen. Yi Huan walked in silence, his hair half white, half dark, fluttering softly in his long cloak trailing behind like a living shadow. At his side, Seo Jisoo kept pace, the talking sword strapped to his back, wrapped in frayed silk. Each footstep upon the snow carried far more than the weight of a body. An hour passed. That weight grew heavier, thickened by wordlessness that draped their frozen mouths. Siohan was far behind but now, and before them the frozen forest rose twisted by frost, tall, gnarled, unwelcoming. Only the whisper of wind with the creak of dead branches and the groan of white-barked trees broke the stillness. Beyond the capital's spiritual protections, danger descended, hidden among the slow-falling snowflakes. Jisoo growled restless, finally broke the silence. Growing restless, finally broke the silence. The breeze feels gentler today, he said, with an air of feigned calm, as if the spirits pity us. Yi Huan said nothing. Perhaps the great spirits have blessed our path, Jisoo added with a faint smile. You can tell I'm pretty fucked already. Should we bring them offerings? Silence. The king neither looked at him nor shifted expression. He did not speak. Jisoo exhaled hard. You could at least pretend you hear me, he muttered. Yi Huan's cloak moved in time with his hair. Unmoved. Indifferent. Jisoo clenched his jaw, but before he could say another word, a sardonic voice rang out from the sword on his back. But the fangs of the wise, Heite, how many more times will you speak to silence, you nasal little fool? It ignores you because your voice is annoying. Quan, Jisoo hissed, shut up. Why bring me at all if I'm not allowed to talk? I'm literally strapped to your back. It's humiliating, cold, dark, and you reek of nerves. Yi Huan barely tilted his head as if the sword's voice were no more than a bothersome gnat. Jisoo flushed red, casting an apologetic glance at the king. Ignore her, he mumbled. She talks a lot when she's scared. Scared me? Quan scoffed, voice like a cracked bell. Of what? Oh, right, this lovely stroll ends with us chopped in half like frozen radishes. Delightful. If you don't stop, I'll bury you in the snow. So dramatic. Is this how you treat a legendary weapon? Legendary, my boots. Watch your tongue, brat. I drank the blood of traitors when your great-grandfather still wept at night. Who knew? Know who else will be weeping? You, upside down, buried in slush. Quan snorted in mock offense. Yi Huan, without looking away from the path, finally spoke, barely above a whisper. How many more kilometers? Freaking ads! We gotta pause for the ads, guys. Yup. Struggle is real, boys! Alright, here we go. How many more kilometers? Jisoo grumbled, just as his right foot slipped on a branch hidden beneath the snow. His posture wobbled. There he goes, the sword shrieked. I told you! Oh, excuse me. But before he could fall, a pale hand grabbed his arm. Firm, decisive. Yi Huan had caught him without turning fully around. His eyes, one dark, the other veiled beneath black silk, stared ahead, unflinching. Jisoo found himself staring up from an awkward angle, heart humming against his ribs. For a moment, time froze between their breath, white vapors swirling between them. They were too close. The glance exchanged was brief, but something lingered in the air. Jean Ho, Jisoo whispered, blushing furiously. Don't stumble again, the king said simply, withdrawing his hand without warning. What a lovely moment, Quan moaned theatrically. Shall I cry now or kiss someone? The snow, perhaps. Quan, Jisoo muttered through clenched teeth. I swear by the great spirits, but Yi Huan was already walking ahead, his silhouette blurring in the growing snowfall. And for a fleeting moment, Jisoo had the strange impression that the forest itself was trying to hide the path to the abandoned temple. Back! Hi, Sean! Welcome back, Rick. Behind them, silence returned, broken only by the unbearable muttering of a sword who never knew when to keep her mouth shut. Rick, you might want to post that now, because I'm literally passing the fuck out and I'm finding it a real struggle to read. Forest led them into its narrowest throat, as if the snow itself had devoured the paths. Bare trees, sheathed in frost, leaned over them like whispering elders, and the sun, that ghostly trace of a distant presence, veiled by ash-gray clouds, watched from above, a blind eye. If that's the same one, I'm not reading it. You gotta pick like a small story that I can read, Rick. Jisoo quickened his pace, his lungs burned, and he could no longer feel his fingers. Something in the air had thickened, dense and almost viscous. It's the same one though, yeah, I found it. Okay, this is what I mean. Go like this. Go to your... Here, I'll show you what I mean to do. Go to your Google Docs, Rick. Right? Go to your tab. Go... Add a tab. Name this It Talks Stories. And then whatever story you want to read, drop in that tab. Does that make sense, Rick? Because if you don't do that, I'm not reading your story. Because I'm not going through this to try and find your story. Just paste it in a random tab, please. No worries. It's just, that's what I've been trying to tell you to do for like a month now, and you just kind of... I don't understand how you didn't understand to just do that. Like, since the very beginning, I was like, just take a small excerpt, put it in a tab, send me the tab, I'll read that tab. Boom. Easy. I don't really understand stuff like, you know, jokes. Well, just know that everything I say is super serious and it's always on point and I'm always pointing at you, Rick. That's a joke, by the way. Jisoo quickened his pace. His lungs burned and he could no longer feel his fingers. Something in the air had thickened, dense and almost viscous. Yi Huan came to a halt at the edge of the steep ridge, where the valley stretched below like a pale wound. There it was, half buried beneath petrified brush and drifts of snow, the black silhouette of the Temple of the Void. There it is, Jisoo whispered, swallowing hard. The structure, built from weathered gray stone, appeared partially sunken. Its blue-tiled roofs were cracked and brittle, draped in icicles like translucent fangs. Twisted columns, etched with ancient hanja, now illegible, seemed held upon upright more by pride than by balance. Then Quan, of course, felt the overwhelming urge to speak. The temple was, centuries ago, a sanctum for the followers of the great spirit Chaos, an extinct sect who believed the world's harmony could only be restored by dissolving the veil between realms. They worshipped endings the way others revere sacred spirits. In its halls, scripture was carved in blood, fires burnt night and day, fueled by sunlight drawn from above. Then, one winter, long before the eternal winter, the acolytes vanished without a trace. Some say the temple swallowed them whole. Others claim a creature of the void answered their prayers and consumed them. No one ever reclaimed it. Now it's just a frozen echo of the past. I don't like this place, Jisoo muttered, unwrapping the silk that concealed Quan. If I were you, I'd tread lightly, said the sword. This place, it sings. Sings. Not with voices, with bones, with memory, and it does not welcome us. Yuan descended without a word, steeping over snow that crackled under his boots. His movements were calm, silent, as if he knew exactly where he was going, even though he'd never been there before. Jisoo kept close. The threshold of the temple was fractured. Above it, carved into the lintel, the faded mark of a symbol, spiral, encircled by closed eyes, the sigil of blind devotion to chaos. Yeah, see, the tab that says clothing styles, click it and there is the stuff I want you to read. Pardon for not listening for a month, by the way. Well, it's just like the reason why I haven't read anything, Rick. It's just every time, it's like there's like 600 pages of shit and I'm like, yeah, that's too much. Right? It's great that you have that, but it's like the story, right? 13, what's up? Not much, brother. Just another good old night. A little bit of a shorter stream today. We'll probably be calling it in a wee bit here, like 45 minutes or something like that. We'll see how long I can last. Yihuan stopped at the gate, not from fear, but to sense the energies. Let's enter, he said without turning back. Jisoo caught up, glancing nervously about. What if it's a trap? Yihuan closed his eyes. His breath was visible like smoke from an extinguished brazier. Then he opened the white eye beneath his patch, just a glimmer. That was always the plan, he replied calmly. Jisoo stared at him from behind. The eye on Quan's hilt swiveled toward him. Don't stare at the king like that, you brazen youth. You'll rouse my imagination. Best grip your sword tight and be the man of faith. Jisoo huffed at the sword, but took the warning to heart. Inside, the temple greeted them with a cold that did not belong to the realm of the living. It was not winter's cold. It was the chill of a place forgotten even by death. Altars lay in ruins. Statues had their faces scraped clean as though eaten from within. I'm doing good? That's good, hell yeah. So it's all about 13. I'm like 12 tokes and 3 beer deep, so I'm pretty fucked up right now. Did you find my jockstrap yet? No, blessed. I don't know. My mom must have put it in the wash and maybe, they thought it was like my dad's or something. I don't know. So my dad plays hockey, so... You might need a new one, bro. It might be fucking gone. Better mom than mine. Walls were covered in murals, blackened by soot and time. Distorted human faces, ice demons, moons shattered into pieces. At the center of the main sanctum, an empty ceremonial basin. Yuan knelt by a column, running his fingers across an engraved mark. Here they prayed to forget, he murmured. Here they offered their tongues, their eyes, their souls. Jisoo swallowed hard. And why would anyone bring a king here? Because some believe places forgotten leave no witnesses, Yuan whispered. A deep murmur rattled the stone. A dead wind passed through the cracks, and from the rear of the worship hall, a sob. There, Jisoo said, drawing Quan. The blade vibrated in his grasp, glowing faintly. Yes, Quan growled. I hear it now, too. Yuan turned, his face hardened. That's not them, he warned. Then silence ripped open. Not with a scream, not with a roar, with the wet crack of twisting flesh and shattered bone. The stone of the eroded walls, the columns, and the floor began to split, and something emerged from beneath the shadows, a creature of the void, a demon. It had no fixed form, a mass of shifting limbs that dissolved and reformed endlessly. Its torso was a cage of black ribs covered in eyes that never blinked. A vertical mouth split its chest, a tongue made of smoke and blades unfurling. It dripped darkness. Get back, Jisoo shouted, pushing Yi-Hwan behind him. The king, for the first time in long memory, hesitated. He knew. To use the white eye against it would exhaust his spiritual core in vain. This was not a battle for him. The creature drifted soundlessly above the snowy stone, its shadow spreading like oil across the ground. Jisoo, Yi-Hwan warned. Don't use your blade recklessly. That thing is not of this world. Neither have I when I am angry, Jisoo muttered, raising Quan with remarkable steadiness. The blade lit up with a magical glow, casting pale fire across Jisoo's face. He activated his Hohoopki. That's a new one. Ah, at last, Quan cried with delight. I shall borrow your Ilgi. The creature lunged. Jisoo sprang aside, feline swift, slicing downward. Quan shrieked as a trail of frozen shards followed her arc, severing one of the demon's warped limbs. The beast screamed with a voice made of many throats, recoiling only to regenerate immediately. Yi-Hwan stood at a safe distance. His left hand trembled over the patch of his eye. He could feel it pulsing, his sealed power, the heartbeat of eternal winter, yearning to be released. But he restrained it. This wasn't his fight, it was Jisoo's. For all, only he could wield Ilgi. And Jisoo danced like a trained swordsman, spun, evaded, leapt. Each strike of his blade exact, each blow meant not to kill, for such beasts not die as mortals do, but to unravel, to banish. Faster, stronger, with more grace, Quan screamed, Yes, Jisoo, cut the soul it doesn't have, but the creature adapted. At one point, his body split, forming a second mouth that lunged from the side. Jisoo barely parried it, falling back against a column. His back cracked against the stone. Jisoo, one cried, calling his royal secretary by name. But he did not intervene. Jisoo rose with blood on his lip and smiled. That all you've got? He spat, charging again. He vaulted over a fallen pillar, spun mid-air and carved downward an arc of frostlight. Slashing open the beast, the creature shrieked again. One of its many eyes fell like a rotten egg and dissolved upon impact. And then Jisoo drove Quan into a vertical mouth of its chest. Ah, what delight, roared the sword as it devoured the corrupted energy. The creature crumpled in on itself, quivering, rotting from within, until all that remained was a vicious puddle, which froze instantly across the snowy floor. And then silence returned. Yi-Hwan stepped toward Jisoo. The aura of the sword still pulsed, faintly. The king watched him for a long moment. He said nothing. But Jisoo, bloodied with a gash above his brow and his shoulder wounded, saw for the first time respect in the king's eyes. And though he still could not recall why, it was enough that something in that gaze had shifted. Jean-He? Jisoo asked, raising an eyebrow. You are more than you appear. Well, I did learn a thing or two in Ming. Yi-Hwan looked away. The mist of his breath crystallized the cold air. Quan, he murmured, enough. And the sword burst out laughing. This boy's Ilgi is delicious, though it lacks refinement. It doesn't even taste 5,000 years old yet. Ah, Jisoo yelped as he released the sword. The sword was draining his spiritual core. You're gonna kill me, he dropped her. Weakling, pick me up this instant. Yi-Hwan looked up. A snow trickled in through cracks in the roof. He studied the light of the pale sun above Jisoo, turned to him, panting. It'll be dusk soon. Foolish swordsman, lift me now. Suddenly, Quan's voice cut off. The air, after the battle, was heavier than the fight itself. Just as the echo of the void demon dissolved into the forest, a pale mist rose from the cracks. Behind the altar, Yi-Hwan turned his breath his breath frosting the air. Jianha, we need to move, Jisoo warned, stepping back to retrieve Kwon. At last, as punishment, I shall. Her voice was silenced when Jisoo sheathed her. Yi Hwan had already stepped forward. His right hand trembled slightly, as though something behind the patch over his eye threatened to break free. A muffled whisper began to fill the room. Not a sound, a memory. They froze. And then, the vision came. The room changed. There was no snow, no ruin. It was the same hall, but restored, alive, lit by crimson torches along the walls. At the center upon the altar stood a hooded figure, arms outstretched, while a young girl in white ceremonial hanbok was dragged forward by 2 monks. "She is the channel," the hooded figure cried. "She shall open the moon gate." The girl's face was blank, but in place of eyes there were 2 blinding abysses. "The eye of winter shall awaken, and the void shall be set free." Everything trembled, the floor cracked, the figures collapsed, a flash of white energy tore through the ceiling, and the vision melted like wet parchment. Yi Hwan stumbled back a step, heart pounding in his throat. Jisoo had seen it too. "What was that?" the royal secretary whispered, his fingers tight around Kwan's hilt. "A memory of the temple. This place was a sanctuary for the followers of the void," the king replied, half to himself. "They tried to open a breach." Neither said more. The chamber fell back into a shadow. Later, as night crept in and the temple air grew even colder, the 2 sat to await the arrival of Yi Seok's captor. There were still hours to go before midnight, the appointed time. Wrapped in heavy cloaks, seated in a dry corner of the hall, the silence thickened between them once again, heavy, unfathomable. Jisoo broke it. "Jianha, did I ever tell you I was once locked in a cage hung from a wall in the middle of a summer in Ming?" Yi Hwan turned his head slowly, his expression untouched. "Done. The stuff I want you to read is there. It's called Work in Progress, Scene 1, Moonlit Inn." "All right, sounds good, Rick. Thanks." Yi Hwan turned his head slowly, his expression untouched. "We haven't known each other long enough for that, so no," he replied, deadpan. Jisoo laughed nervously. He thought, "How stupid of me." Kwon agreed. "I was 15. They'd accused me of stealing from a corrupt magistrate, which was true, but it was to pay a healer who was tending to my wounded master." Yi Hwan did not respond. Jisoo glanced sideways at him, smiling faintly. "I was up there for 2 days, no food, no water. The sun cracked my skull. But every night, an old woman would throw me a melon from the alleyway, small, half-rotten, but it saved me. You survived on a melon. One and a half. The second got eaten by a dog before I could catch it." Yi Hwan exhaled, brief, barely noticeable. But to Jisoo it was a triumph. "And what did you do after?" "I broke the cage, scaled the wall like a lizard, then went back to steal the magistrate's ancestral sword." "Why?" "Had gold on the hilt, and because I like finishing what I start." Yi Hwan turned back toward the center of the hall. Moonlight slipped through a crack in the roof, washing him in a pale glow. "You are peculiar, Secretary Seo." "Thank you, Jianha. I'll take that as a compliment." "It wasn't, I know." A pause, then Jisoo curled into his cloak and asked, "What about you, Jianha? Any stories that don't involve glaring at people like they're stone statues?" Yi Hwan said nothing. He closed his eyes. Jisoo sighed and leaned back against the stone. Beside Kwon, who whispered into his mind, "You should tell him that you've met before." "Stay out of it," Jisoo replied. "Coward." "Perhaps." And silence returned. For though Kwon could have told Yi Hwan the secret Jisoo still kept, she chose not to. For even a talking sword could read probability, and this one knew if she spoke, the king would shatter. And the real tragedy would begin, because above all else, her purpose remained to protect the White Eye. Alright. You want to drop that link in the chat there, Rick? Yeah, just post it again because it's gone in the chat. Alright. The Moonlit Inn. Here we go. This will be the last one of the night, guys. Then I gotta call it. Oh, fucking nunsky daddle doodle scoozies fucked. True. Okay. Soft glow of a nearby lantern casts long shadows across the wooden walls of the inn. Outside, the sound of crickets chirping fills the night air, mixing with the quiet hum of conversation from other travelers. Inside, Jake and Lumina sit at a small table near the window, sip on cups of warm tea. The inn is cozy, but with the air of something more intimate. The moonlight streaming through the open window, painting the room in a soft silvery hue. Jake leans back in his chair, clearly relaxed, his usual confident grin dancing across his face. Lumina, seated across from him, seems unusually flustered. His cheeks are a soft pink and his fingers absently toy with the edge of his cup. It's been a long day of traveling, and they've been sharing a bed for the night, a necessity since the inn only has one room left. You know, Jake says, his voice teasing a little, this whole sharing a room thing isn't so bad. Leans forward slightly, giving Lumina a wink. Though I didn't expect to be spending the night with such an esteemed figure. Oh, by the way, they are both, guys. Pardon if you don't like that, you know. It doesn't bother me at all, Rick. Lumina stiffens slightly, his eyes widening just a bit. Stammers out, what do you mean? Trying to keep his voice stammering. His hand shakes slightly as he lifts his cup to take another sip, his mind elsewhere. Jake's grin widens at Lumina's discomfort. He leans in a bit closer, lowering his eyes. Well, you're a prince, right? I'm just a regular guy, but here we are sharing a bed. What if you get all royal on me and throw me out? Lumina's face turns a deeper shade of pink, his heart racing a bit faster. I wouldn't do that, he protests, his voice wavering. He looks anywhere but at Jake, his gaze landing on the floor. It's just a room, and you're a friend. Jake chuckles softly, the teasing glint in his eyes never fading. He shifts in his seat, leaning back again, but not taking his eyes off of Lumina. Yeah, friend, but I can't help but wonder if I'm a little too ordinary for you, Your Highness. I mean, you're supposed to be this perfect, dignified prince, and I'm just a failure. I'm back from deep squatting wearing my deepest V-shirt. Nice, blessed. Hell yeah, buddy. Keep pumping it. Lumina blushes deeper, his throat tightening as he looks up briefly to meet Jake's gaze. No, that's not it at all, he insists, his voice becoming a little more desperate. You're different. You make everything feel so easy, you know? Jake's grin softens slightly at the sincerity in Lumina's voice, but his mischievous streak isn't quite ready to let go. He leans in again, this time close enough that he can see the tiny tremble in Lumina's lip. The way his pulse quickens under the attention. Well, I've got to admit, I wasn't expecting you to be so alluring when you blush. It's hard to focus on anything else when you're all flustered like this. Jake teases, his voice low and playful, his lips just inches from Lumina's ear. Do you need an aggressively used shake weight? No, blessed. But neither does your mom, because she uses my dick for that. Lumina freezes, eyes widening, his breath catches in his throat as Jake's words sink in. His cheeks burned like fire. He stutters, trying to collect himself, but all that comes out is a barely audible Jake, don't. But Jake's grin only deepens. He reaches over, brushing a strand of Lumina's hair from his face, his fingertips lingering just a moment longer than necessary. The simple touch sends a shiver down Lumina's spine, and he can't help the slightest gasp that escapes his lips. Catch me outside! Them fightin' words, blessed! Them's fightin' words! Simple touch. You're so easy to tease, Your Highness, Jake whispers, his voice a mix of affection and playful mischief. I almost don't want to stop. I'm gonna carry you like a bowling ball. I guess you need to see it like that, right? You know. One in the stink, two in the pink! Lumina's breath hitches, his heart is pounding in his chest. The room feels suddenly too small. He wants to pull away, to put some space between them. But at the same time, the warmth of Jake's presence is undeniable. There's an undeniable pull, a connection that neither of them can ignore, no matter how hard they try. Before Lumina can react, Jake leans in fully, closing the distance between them. His lips are soft but insistent, catching Lumina off guard. It's not a passionate kiss, but more of a sweet, lingering one that tastes of tea and something deeper, something unspoken. Brown Downer, you're wearing a frown. Okay, good sir. You can say that all you want, but I don't know if you know what you're truly doing around here. Okay? Thank you. Goodbye. Lumina freezes at first, but then he feels Jake's arm gently wrap around his waist, pulling him closer. For a moment, everything else disappears. The inn, the moonlight, the weight of being a prince. All that matters is the warmth of Jake's lips and the fluttering feeling in his chest. I'm feeling good. Hell yeah, blessed. It's all about. When they finally pull away, both are breathing a little harder. Jake's grin is softer now, and Lumina looks up at him, his gaze a mix of surprise and something deeper. Something more vulnerable than before. You really know how to make things complicated, Lumina mutters, still flushed, but with a small smile tugging at the corners of his lips. Jake chuckles and shrugs. It's what I do best, princess. You should try it sometime. He winks playfully, though there's something tender in his gaze now, something that speaks of growing affection. Lumina sighs softly, feeling an unfamiliar warmth settle in his chest. You're impossible, he mutters, though he doesn't pull away. But the tension between them lingers, just beneath the surface. 3-hour planning for getting our food needs met from food pantry? I dunno. Is what it is, right? Fuck if I know. But the tension between them lingers, just beneath the surface. There's still more to explore, more to say. And as the night stretches on, neither of them quite ready to acknowledge the deeper feelings that have begun to form between them. But for now, the teasing, the laughter, and the unspoken bond are enough. I feel victorious. You should, blessed. Neocortex massive. True. Transition to the encounter, the Quickfoot sisters. How did y'all like it, sir, and y'all thoughts? That was it, Rick? I agree, blessed. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I'm good. I'm fucking out. I'm so done right now, guys. I'm so fucking hungry. I'm so tired. I have a fucking massive headache. I don't even want to take a toke because I'm afraid I'm going to get an even worse headache from toking. Rick's a little bit of an odd one there, blessed. He doesn't understand the your mom jokes. It is what it is, you know? I get you, sir. Have a good rest, and rest up well to recharge and read the rest another day, if you like, you know? Yup, that's the plan. Just, you know, being a little, fucking drunk at the beginning here. Also, yeah, jokes, you know, I don't have, like, the same humor as others, you know? So when I say, "You're mom!" Alright, guys, alright. We had a day today, okay? Short day today, but we had a day today, okay? It is what it is, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. So remember, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out, guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I really enjoyed reading your stories today. Maybe tomorrow we'll be able to finish the story, because I have no fucking idea. I'm too out of it. There's no ASL tomorrow, guys, so we'll be back to the stories. So remember, guys, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! Alright, who we raiding today, boys? Same to you, Turks. Fuck you, Scotty. No, sir, blessed, you're autistic. No. See you tomorrow. Screw you all. True. Peace out. Alright guys, we got one. Let's get your wheels ready.